as a kid, I hated The Office. All right, like I guess as a kid is a weird term because it got popular like right as I was graduating high school.
Yeah, I mean, like that show didn't come out.
Mentally,
till, like,
you've been a child for a long time.
Yeah,
aren't you 27 right now? Was it even out when you were a kid?
I've been mentally stunted ever since my high school English teacher offered me extra credit. So, so like this show was super popular, and I never really liked cringe humor, and I especially never liked Steve Carell. And so when you take cringe humor and you take Steve Carell and you put it in an environment where everyone around him is trying to be productive and he's just the worst possible human being that you can have, it makes me insane in the membrane. And I thought The Office died. The show ended in 2014, 2013? It ended. It was over. It was done.
Yeah.
And yet the smooth brainers who think Reddit is a legitimate social media platform, who think it's not a corrupted cesspool with subreddits such as Our Beautiful Bodies and Our Incest Gone Wild, continue.
Hey, that's a good subreddit.
To continue to perpetuate this B-list TV show. I understood Friends. I got why Friends was popular. I got why Frasier was popular. What was the one where the guys were in New York and everybody was in New York and they were terrible human beings? Seinfeld. I get why Seinfeld was popular. But I watched The Office because my wife loved The Office. And I hate this show. And yet reaction images of this show continue to this day.
It's weird, right? Because I do like The Office. It's an alright show. It's not amazing, but it's fun. And it is kind of weird how fucking it's still around. It became some weird so milestone for some reason. I don't know why.
Well, and it's not like Star Wars. Star Wars, I get why 2 decades before, so the show Star Wars ended 1983 originally, and then 1997 they announced Episode 4 or Episode 1.
Yeah, and it came out in 99.
Yeah, so for 2 decades though, 2.5 decades, Star Wars was still around because we got the Lego Hoth set, we still got the action figures, we got a ton of N64 games, stuff like that. But I understood that because you could merchandise Star Wars. You can't make a Jim and Pam action figure. The most you can make is a Jim Halpert blow-up doll. You can't consistently make merchandise for a show like this. It's already over. And yet, every day, if I end up on Giphy or Imager's reaction section while I'm looking for a good reaction image, by the time I'm at my 4th reaction image, I got a picture of Dwight Schrute or Jim Halpert or Michael Scott doing something stupid. This show is over. Let it be dead.
Moth, I think your problem is that you're going to boomer sources for your reaction images.
More Gen, I would say more Gen Xer reaction images, because I don't want to dig through the fitness board on 4chan for a reaction image of a dude squatting on a mason jar.
The only time I ever use Giphy is whenever my mom sends me a message and I don't want to reply.
It's here, you're a boomer, you'll get this. But yeah,
she, did I ever tell you guys about the time she fucking sent me Sans dancing? That was fucking wild.
You did. You sent us a picture I don't know how to react to this. My mom just sent me a dancing skeleton in a blue hoodie.
And she did it unironically. She was depressed at the time, and she was just respond to me. This is from a game, right? She probably just typed in game dancing. And it was just Sans doing the Fortnite dance.
All right.
Oh,
all right.
Fuck.
Sorry, I had to start that episode this way. It's just I cannot get over my hatred of The Office, and it's almost like my beating heart under my floorboards, my telltale heart, that years after this abomination should have ended, I still have to deal with and it's the worst thing is it's still Mormons too. I don't know what it is, but my own religion has to burn everything to the ground, and so every Mormon I know loves The Office as much as they love The Little Mermaid. And it's just, oh my gosh, we're going to have a party where we're going to play some inoffensive board games like Settlers of Catan, or the Mormon version, Settlers of Zarahemla. And,
is that real?
I'm not even kidding. And then we're going to watch season 3 of The Office. No, look it up.
Wait, people watch Office at parties?
like kind of light social gatherings. Like, here, look it up.
That's weird.
Mormons are literal. Like I'm not saying Mormons are white. I'm saying Mormons are saltine crackers. Of course, they watch The Office at parties.
Here you
People
go.
watch TV at parties and like a movie. I would understand.
Here you go. You guys, you might not believe me. This was an actual board game, and I don't know if it was actually produced by the company, but here you go. Settlers of Zarahemla. Like, and this is like their idea of fun. And it's like, come on, guys, just... Can we play like an actually fun board game? Like, you know,
Catan is already boring enough on its own.
Yeah, I got like the old BattleTech rules from like 2005. Let's do that.
Is the point of this game to like get enough resources to build your mansion in the sky?
To build your own city of Edic and get out of there. Oh yeah, no, it wasn't even produced by the same company that did Settlers of Catan.
Oh, so you just ripped it off.
It's Inspiration Games.
They just ripped it off straight up.
It's not even Settlers of
Holy
Catan,
fuck.
and it uses the hexagons. What the hell? Yeah,
Mormons, y'all are some fucking wild people.
dude, it's great.
Wild folk.
I just, you know, it's funny because no, never mind. We're not talking religion this episode. Welcome to the We Hate Anime podcast.
Yet again.
Yet again. We're glad you guys have made it to episode 14. Wait, is this 13 or 14?
This is 13.
This is okay. We're glad you guys have made it to 13, ignoring like our inability to count past 11. I'm Moth. Joining me here today is our Zoomer, who keeps us in time with the Zoomers, Frog King.
I'm actually
And,
more of like a, well, you know what? That's fine.
Shut up, Zoomer.
Okay.
And here with me is Mike. I was gonna like make a Game of Thrones reference, but I forgot like which Baratheon you remind me of the most. So here with me is Mike, also known as He Hates Anime.
Hey, let's pause real quick. I'll go to BuzzFeed and take the which Baratheon are you test.
Oh, nice.
Well, I'm trying to remember. Was Robert Baratheon the one from the first season, or was that Stannis? I thought it was Robert.
Bro, I don't know. I'm not a Throneser.
Okay, that's fair, but like I don't know. You just kind of remind me of the type of guy who's like, "Can we start this podcast before I piss myself?"
Game of Thrones is weird because I got so burnt in 2014 from Berserk. That's when I read it of things that aren't fucking finished. So I was like, you know what? Everyone's talking about Game of Thrones. I haven't gotten into it yet. I'm gonna wait till it's done. And like, I've never been so gratified by that choice in my entire fucking life.
Yeah, like April this year, everyone's losing their damn minds because they ended the show in 8 episodes. By the way, did you hear what happened to those guys?
Wait, who?
Yeah.
The guys who made the
D&D.
Yeah,
Oh, those guys. Yeah.
Yeah, the guys who made Game of Thrones and kind of skimped out on doing 2 seasons in favor of 1 short season so they could go work on Star Wars. They're off the Star Wars crew.
Yeah.
Who would have thunk
It's fucking
it? Wow.
hilarious.
Yeah, so it's awesome. Yeah, sorry, we don't need to talk about Game of Thrones because H3 has already covered it, and he's pretty much normie tier now, so we can ignore him.
I'll just do
Oh yeah, just
good.
It's actually really sad. I used to like Ethan a whole lot, and I don't think it was the podcast that turned me off of him. I think it was actually when he moved to California.
Huh.
The type of person that I actually firmly believe, and like for the 1 or 2 listeners who live in California, I actually firmly believe California makes you a worse human being, no matter who you are.
Cat lives in California.
Cat lives in California. Like, oh, she's gonna be on this podcast next episode too, so it's like, she can realize. But
Cat
like,
is an awful human being, though. So
but
let's
like,
be
Yeah,
honest.
it's true.
here's the thing: like, a lot of good ideas have come out of California, and I'm not even going to talk about like on a media standpoint. I'm just going to talk about like the ideas that came out, such as there was a huge auto push in California for like cleaner, better emissions in cars, and because California is such a big and powerful state, it actually completely reformed how we do auto emissions across the United States. Like, good things have come out of California,
But just not good people.
but just not good people. Like,
Never been a single one.
well, no, I had 2 really good friends. One lived in Ohio and one lived in Utah. And they both moved to California to start dating. Like, they were a long-term relationship that for some reason decided to move to California to actually begin their physical relationship. And how that was not a bad idea is beyond me. But, like, they were our best friends. We played League of Legends with them all the time. Like, they were great. And then they moved to California, and now they're just the most miserable human beings I've ever met. Like, everything is a complaint to them, and it's just like, get out of California, dude. Be a human being again.
Well, do they still play League of Legends? Because that would explain their miserableness.
Dude, I refuse to play League of Legends anymore. Like,
same, yeah.
No, this is coming from somebody who played League of Legends when there were only 5 champions. Like, I refuse to play anymore.
I think there were 40 at start, but yeah.
Well, there were 40 at start.
Moth is so OG, he played it back when it was just League of Legend.
Yeah, when it was just Annie and Twisted Fate. Those were your only 2 choices. But
fuck. Every single person in California is miserable, and I think it's just because fucking rent's insane.
No, it's not that. It's like the entire it's like it's like a living episode of Seinfeld in a slightly sunnier state. Like
a very sunnier state.
Yeah, like everybody, like, I get it. California is beautiful. It has a lot of great things about it. Like, there was a huge gold mining. You can grow the best grapes in the world there. But California as a whole, like, it attracted so many people. And honestly, if I could live anywhere in the United States, I would live Southern Oregon, which might as well be California. Like, you know, geographically, it's a great place, but, like, it's just such, you know, they call, like, Los Angeles the city of angels. Like, I just firmly believe that when that earthquake finally happens and California becomes Hawaii 2.0, like, it might actually become a better place.
Moth, do you think that's just going to happen all at once, or are you not aware of how continental drift works?
Does it have anything to do with, like, driving a Subaru down a hill?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, so I think I understand how continental drift works.
Is that the same as tectonic plates?
Yes.
Well, I mean, I thought tectonic plates were like the really good brakes you use when you're using like the e-brake to turn the continental drift.
I could flex, you know, my science boy knowledge on y'all, but I'm going to choose not to because, Jesus Christ, this is an anime podcast.
Yeah, I was going to say, remember when we used to talk about anime?
We can go talk about science. We can talk about Dr. Stone. No, it's fine.
No.
Speaking of anime, let's talk about some video games.
Oh yeah, for sure. Let's get into it.
Actually, talking about actual. Let's celebrate. You know, because right now I've crapped on Mormonism. I've crapped on California. Now let's crap on something everyone wants to crap on.
Moth, before you continue, just everyone in this next section, in the back of your heads, just keep hearing the song Crab Rave. Let's go.
Kotaku is gone.
Yeah, dance, guys.
Come on.
I'm putting it into the audio too.
Nobody cares.
Well, okay, so I've kind of like, there's been a lot of hearsay. So I'm gonna try to tell the story as well as I understand it, as unbiased as I understand it. I'm probably gonna fail miserably, but I'll try. And basically, I think the other website was called Topspin. I guess there were a couple of news organizations owned by...
Yeah, it was the people who owned both Topspin and Kotaku.
Yes. Was it Topspin? I knew it was a sports...
I believe so. I know it was a sports one. I think they were called Topspin.
Right. And I mean, we're a bunch of weebs, so of course we don't know anything about sports ball, so we don't know what the sports page was.
It sportsed real hard, though.
It did. It sports real hard.
Actually, it didn't sport hard enough, I could tell you that.
Deadspin. It was Deadspin, not Topspin.
Deadspin, yep.
Okay. So, basically, the conglomerate that owned Kotaku and Deadspin got acquired by another conglomerate, and they kind of realized that they're a bit of a sinking ship. Like, Deadspin and Kotaku have not been making as much money. And surprise, surprise, it's because they were getting political. Now, I firmly believe if you're an entertainment industry, you should stay out of politics. Obviously, we got people like Colbert and...
Aren't you playing Death Stranding right now?
There's nothing political about Death Stranding. It's just... It's like literally the Postman from 1997 if Hideo Kojima remade it.
Oh, why can't we go back to the early years where games weren't political?
But
yeah, like the original Metal Gear.
Yeah.
No, but like you know, I feel like if you're reporting on video games, you shouldn't be discussing politics. Like, unless your video game is literally like one of those election simulators. And then you can talk about like, yeah, you know, I like how they really addressed this gun violence thing and how the American country in this game doesn't quite incorporate this well. But like, if you're just reporting on video games, unless the video game is actually political, you shouldn't be like, man, King of Fighters is transphobic because May doesn't have a dick. Like, why?
I understand where you're coming from. I think I agree to the extent of, I mean, if the game has inherently political like themes or is like obviously trying to make some kind of political message out of itself, you know, like then I understand that you need to talk about it. But
yeah, like Metal
if
Gear
it's more
Solid
of
2?
like if it's just extrapolating for the sake of extrapolation to find something that you can report on, you know, like dishonesty, then you know why even talk
like
about
that
it?
fucking Fallout, not Fallout, like way back when in whatever episode it was when we, I think it was the first episode.
Yeah, it was the first episode we talked about the Persona song that said retarded.
Now step on up to the plate. You're retarded now.
Baby.
Hey, that's a different song.
I know.
That one is about killing babies, though.
Yeah.
Step on up to the plate. But Kotaku, so basically the new conglomerate's like, hey guys, they actually set out a manifesto, or not a manifesto, I don't know what I'm thinking. They set out a letter that's like, hey, you're a news organization, and hey, you're a video game organization. Report on video games, or we'll find people who can. And Deadspin, for whatever damn reason, decided that was a good time to choose a hill to die on, and started posting articles that was like, hey, I met this really cool dog in Mexico. To, like, spite this new conglomerate. So Deadspin just fired them all.
That's like, amazing, because Kotaku had articles like that just before that. Like, remember that one? Like, check out this really cool picture of GLaDOS.
Yeah, exactly.
Picture of GLaDOS.
Actually, I fully blame Google Ads for the de-evolution of journalism, because we've like Cracked. I'll give Cracked a free pass because Cracked has always been clickbait garbage. Like that's what it was. It was like top 5 reasons Abraham Lincoln may have been a space wizard. Like I get it. Like that was fine, but like the fact that it's like we need something to get you to click our page. It doesn't matter how long you're on our page, but now that you've clicked our page, we get a penny. Like. We have completely destroyed news because people can't live because everybody else has such a small, short attention span that they can't actually read something for 5 minutes and get an informed opinion on it. They have to get their like little happy dopamine rush, like, ha, 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 yeah, those titties do look good in this picture that you just found on the 3rd page of Google image results. Like, it's just...
But they don't look too good, because if they look too good, that's sexist.
They would be on the 2nd page of Google image results. But no, but like so basically they fired Deadspin, and Kotaku, rather than learn their lesson, a lot of the writers started doing the exact same stuff. They're like, these guys are gaslighting us, they're not letting us have journalistic integrity. I'm like, you're allowed to have journalistic integrity. You're a game site.
Yeah.
Talk about video games. And so you know, and here's the thing, once again, ex-game journalist, like I could tell you it's a joke. A lot of game journalists now couldn't make it into the CNN article team, like pure and simple. So Kotaku
that's a fucking low bar too.
Like Kotaku's gone, Polygon's next. Before we know it, Niche Gamer's going to be the new IGN.
I kind of like Polygon now, not because they're articles, because they actually make some funny content, some like in videos sometimes.
Yeah, but that's like a broken clock is right twice a day.
Yeah, but I like that broken clock.
I do not like Polygon. Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, it's a terrible Pokemon.
That's I hate you so much.
Yeah.
It's pretty cute.
Yeah, Kotaku is going through restructuring, and maybe it will come back and be respectable.
Maybe, but like you got to realize the name is so blemished that they would have to come back as like Notaku. Like they would have to completely change their name or something.
Yeah,
not Nut-taku, not Taku.
Dude, I would subscribe to Nut-taku's newsletter. Are you kidding me?
Okay,
Nut-taku is a thing. It already exists.
Yes.
Is that like a subscription box for dojins? Like,
no. Nut-taku is it's an eroge site.
Okay.
And it's mostly browser-based eroge, so it's like gotchas in your web browser that you can't
like
put on your phone because they're too pornographic. No,
Fantastic.
they use like HTML5 or whatever the new.
Oh, you're talking about Nutaku.
Yeah, Nut-taku.
Yeah, okay.
Stop pronouncing it wrong. It's clearly supposed to be pronounced Nut-taku.
Okay.
It's supposed to be pronounced Nut-taku.
Apologies, gentlemen. My bad.
You click on that to get a nut.
Yeah, really. Speaking of nuts, though, we done with Kotaku? Can I talk about the next thing?
Yeah, let's move on.
Please do.
Okay,
Kotaku doesn't have any substance to talk about.
Yeah, that's true. Visual novels aren't games.
Sure.
Visual novels are not a. If you like visual novels, you're the same as far as being a gamer goes as somebody who likes to connect the dots, like those, like dot 1 goes to dot 2, dot 2 goes to dot 3. Like you're in the same level of gamer as somebody who plays the connected the dots game is to
gamer
being an artist.
geekkeeping in 2019.
Oh, dude, I will, because I got a friend.
Real women aren't gamers. We like to shoot FPS games, Halo, Battlefront. Oh,
No,
gamers, women, girls only play, charge their phone, eat hot chip, and lie.
Charge their phone. I said that to my wife, by the way, the other day. I was like, wifey, you only know how to eat hot chip, charge your phone, and lie. And she just looked at me, she's like, what is wrong with you?
E-girl gamers. It's in the shame.
But, no, like, it's just... visual novels are... they're basically... I guess they're just digital picture books. And I don't know why I'm so stuck up with this, but, like... I
don't see a lot of people complaining.
I like visual novels.
Yeah,
like, I actually do like
I
them.
think visual novels are absolute garbage. They're clicking
I think
simulators.
most of them are garbage.
You go to a visual novel for the same reason you go to a book.
Yes, exactly.
You're right in saying they aren't games. I agree.
Like, Moth, I'm on board with you when you say they're not games. Right there with you. They're just a way to experience a media. Like, I would read a visual novel, except sometimes they have branching paths, and that's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, you can like call that akin to like
it's
a
not
choose your own
really.
adventure
It's
book,
like, hey, which of the chicks on this battleship am I going to brainwash? That's not really a choose your own adventure kind of thing.
Now we're getting it cross dating sims, and that's
not a dating sim. I'll tell you right now, that game is not a dating sim.
Well, you're talking about specifics now. I don't even.
It's like, what am I going to do with this ninja that I captured, huh?
Yeah, you're gonna do a lot of cursed things. I've read that One Piece manga.
Oh, jeez. Dude, One Piece is good. Don't you do this to me. I love One Piece.
I've read so many more One Piece porn than I've ever read One Piece.
Can I ask you a question, though, like, slightly off topic? Is it just me, or is it increasingly rare to find a Robin One Piece Joujinshi where scat play isn't involved?
I can't say I'm experienced in the matter.
There is an alarming number of them.
I'm more experienced with like cowgirl stuff than that. It's so specific.
Wait, cowgirl
Yes, there's
stuff.
a lot of
Like,
there's
not-
a lot
not
of
the
Robin
position.
cowgirl shit.
Yeah, there's like just Robin and Poop. Don't know why. And like Robin's like my favorite girl from the series too. Like she's absolutely the coolest character. She was actually before the 2-year arc.
Oh, I know.
Like-
I know. You know what the equivalent is Tsuyu with vaginal prolapse.
I think I mentioned this one from like Hero
There's
Academia,
also
right? Oh man,
It's like
I think
there's so much vaginal prolapse.
let's not talk about vaginal prolapse because I might throw up.
I don't blame
I've seen
you.
some really weird vaginal prolapse.
Oh no, it's
porn.
bad. It's bad.
man, I gotta steer us away from this. So visual novels aren't games, and visual novels actually are I feel they are such an archaic form of media that they are akin to
A book.
I don't know. They're like,
Almost like it's trying to tell you something about that in the title of the genre.
no, it's almost like when you got your buddy and you're driving it, and I'm not shaming anybody in this aspect here, but like, I have an iPhone 10, and I'm fortunate enough that I have a Honda Ridgeline that has CarPlay on it. Like, I got a nice car, I got a nice phone, and I can drive around, and I got CarPlay, and it syncs perfectly, and I can control my phone, and life is great.
Liz
And
in
then-
this fancy ass
and then
fucking.
I get in my
northerner.
buddy's like 1996 Subaru Outback, and
Nice.
he has an iPhone 6 with a cassette tape player, and he has to like run the audio cord from his iPhone 6 to this cassette that's designed to play like a cassette inside of his thing, so we can listen to his iPhone. And like, I'm not doing this to like wealth shame anybody by any means. I'm using it to paint a picture. That is visual
Yep.
novels. Visual novels are an iPhone 6 hooked up to a cassette tape when there are different ways to tell stories now. We've evolved past the point where we need visual novels, and we should really move past them. Visual novels should stop being produced completely, and we should just, people should learn to code real games.
Here's the thing with this, right? I sympathize with this point because I think I've said this exact same shit a lot of times. Not in the same sense you're doing right now, but in general. like I think I've made this point a lot about like when I've argued about like RPGs with Mike and other people for ages and ages about how I don't like the way that story in a lot of games like that are just always done through exposition, through cutscenes or something like that, and I just don't find it interesting. I won't argue though that they should be eradicated from existence.
Visual novels?
For any kind of storytelling form. I mean, if you have something you want to do and you want to do it in that format, I feel like you should feel free. At the same time, I think I personally don't like some of them. And I think I'm the same with visual novels. I'm not a big fan of that format because I'm not a big fan of just reading a book like that much anymore. I used to be more into it. I do still like books, though. Point being...
okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Do what you want, man. I don't know.
Well, no. Like, I think to this day, my favorite form of storytelling I've ever seen, and this is going to sound like the worst thing ever, I think Army of Two had the best storytelling I've ever seen in a game, which is really sad because it's like a B-list action movie video game. And I just remember there's a point where you watch their friendship like slowly degrade as the game goes on, because when it first starts, they're like buddies, and they're like, yeah, dude, give me a boost, and like he gives them a boost. And then there's a point in the game where like the guy goes, hey, give me a boost, because they're getting annoyed with each other. And he goes to give him a boost, and as he's putting his foot down and like putting all of his weight in his foot, the guy just pulls his hands away, and the guy falls flat on his face. And then like later, he's like, hey man, like there's points where you like tap your buddy on the shoulder to let him know you're going ahead. I was playing with my friend, and my dude just straight up backhanded my buddy upside the head and kept going.
But
and like
that's actually a legitimately interesting kind of like way to integrate that into gameplay, which I actually really am for.
That's visual storytelling.
I don't know if you ever played Titanfall 2, the campaign mode for that.
Oh yeah,
it's a similar
course,
kind
like,
of feeling to me.
Yeah, where you are playing the game while the story is being like you don't have to watch a cutscene while you're playing. You're getting the story.
Yeah, and the story might not be like super complex or anything. They're very simple stories, these two, but it's effective, right? It's just like conveying the emotion in the moment. So while I understand, I think I understand what you mean, because like I'm sure I haven't played Army of 2, open book here, but I'm sure the story isn't anything special, but it could feel more interesting just because of that aspect. So I get your talk. I see where you're coming from, basically.
I will personally say when it comes to visual novels, I do prefer just books, because I like to use my imagination when I read. But I also really, like, you can do a lot with the visuals of a visual novel to display, like, if you have a precise way you want something to look, you can actually use camera angles on top of the actual words of the story. There's things you can do.
Like a
now,
really
a lot
weird,
of them don't
shitty
do
movie.
that.
Yeah, it's I don't know, dude. Just pick up book.
I'm not here to criticize. I'm not.
Just like if you want a visual novel, here's what you do: you go to your local card shop, and you pick up Lobo, not the new 52 Lobo that sucked, but like just any Lobo that isn't the new 52, and just
you don't like
Lobo.
you don't like the skinny twink Lobo?
Oh my gosh, that made me so like Lobo is a chaotic, neutral, fat abomination against God, and this is like, hey guys, we made Deathstroke Part 2. Like, I hated it so much.
No, it's not even Deathstroke Part 2. It's fucking Tim Drake. That's all it is. It's Space Tim Drake.
Oh, it was so bad. It made me so angry. But, yeah, visual novels, not games. Visual novels need to go. And if you play a visual novel and you're not doing it for pornographic reasons, why?
I read Cripple Simulator, though, and that was pretty fun.
Oh, wait. You're talking about Katawa Shoujo?
Yeah.
Katawa Shoujo did one good thing, and I will admit this. Katawa Shoujo, if you played it, and then you like went to the community, you got so many good memes that it was worth it. Like, Katawa Shoujo is not good. I mean, story-wise, it's probably a better visual novel, but the memes that came out of this game made it worthwhile.
I have it downloaded and I still haven't played it.
I only played one path because I'm not gonna. It's like 8 hours for a single path. There's 6 of them. I'm not doing all of them, but I liked it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's
visual novels good, regardless of if you're
visual
your meter or
novels
not.
are not good. Like, I
mean, that one is crank material, to be fair.
Well, here's the thing: like, you can actually go on Steam and buy a product called Visual Novel Maker. At the point in which there's a blank game genre maker, the game genre is no longer valid. RPG Maker
there's
games,
that for everything, to be fair.
Not really. There's not exactly like an FPS maker unless you
Well,
want to get back into
not a
Dark
popular
Basic.
one, but it exists.
Those are just game making tools, Moth. Now you're just getting angry that video games are getting easier to make.
Yeah, like if you're not doing this in your garage with your buddy programming on CMOS boards, I don't want to hear it. Or not CMOS boards, jeez, EPROMs.
Oh, fuck you.
All right.
Speaking of things that video games that like no one should really play, Moth, tell us about your addiction to fucking Gacha.
So every so often, I get addicted to a Gacha game, and it'll take like 6 months. So like for a while it was One Piece Pirate Cruise, which I still play occasionally to get whatever seasonal.
That sounds awful.
To get whatever seasonal Robin comes out to play. Like I'm like, oh, a new Robin came out, and I'll like get the Robin, and then I'll go back to ignoring it for 2 months. And for a while I was actually playing Girls Frontline, but I unlocked 5.7 and P90 wasn't out at the time, and I was like, I got no reason to keep playing this. So another one came out, and at first I got one thing: I will not play a gacha if there's a VIP system. And for those people who don't know, a VIP system is the amount of money you spend is tracked. And so like and so if I spend $30, I actually have an unfair benefit over somebody who's paid $10. Like if somebody pays $10 and plays that game for 2 hours a day, and I've paid $30 and I only play that game for 30 minutes a day, there's a very good chance I'm going to be a higher level than them. Like and more powerful on the rankings.
That's so fucking scummy, dude. What the fuck?
Yeah.
That's awful.
And like it gets like there was one that I played for a long time. I think it was called like Royal Chaos or something, where I figured out what a VIP system was playing that game. And that one, it was at the point where on my server I was ranked like in the, because they did like dynasties where you're in the level of the royal court. I'd gotten to the point where I was in the second highest royal court in the game, having only spent like $30 on the game, and I was VIP like 5 or 6, and there's like 17 VIP levels. And I remember that like I could not keep up, and I was playing this game for like 90 minutes a day, and I was just getting bounced down to like Court Royal 3, Court Royal 4, and I was like, no! And so I picked up a game, Mirage Memorial, and it's definitely on the scummier side of gacha games, because while there's not a VIP system, if you do spend money and you spend money correctly, you get food that you plug into your character's loyalty meter, and once a day you get to log in, and depending on how much food you've got, so like you actually have to choose to spend money on food, depending on how much food, how many points you've put into your bond will give you like a nice thing. Like I'll get 3 random draw cards that day, and then if I get the level up from 11 to 15, I'll get 4 random draw cards that day. It's a little bit scummy. It's a little bit of a VIP system, but it's not game breaking. Like somebody who's at VIP 1 is not that far behind somebody at VIP 11. It's not like where a VIP 11 guy gets 300% more free stuff than a VIP 1 guy. I just get like 1 extra gacha draw a day.
So what's the thing about this gacha that like interests you? Like what is it?
Honestly, the nice thing is I can log on and I can do all of my dailies in 30 minutes and log off.
But is it like a waifu game?
Oh, it's very much a waifu game. It's a little bit less in depth than like Azure Lane and Girls Frontline, where you actually like marry your ships. Like you can't marry any of the gachas that you get. But I feel like there's a huge emphasis on PvP, and I really like it. Speaking of which, I need to register my clan for the PvP event today. I'm gonna do that real quick while we're talking. There's a huge emphasis on PvP, and you know, in a lot of games where if you re-roll the same character, it's bad.
Yeah.
If you re-roll the same character in this game, it's good, because that's the only way to evolve your character is by having clones of that character. Okay. So getting a new character is good. Getting the same character you just got is equally exciting.
Okay.
So it's
the only gacha game I play is Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. That's because I like Yu-Gi-Oh!
I mean, that's like more like real life than any other Yu-Gi-Oh thing, because I mean, any other gacha thing, right? Because I mean, that's still dumb because you can just play Yu-Gi-Oh Pro and get all the cards. But I mean,
yeah, but it's a speed duel format, and Yu-Gi-Oh Pro don't have that.
Man, you know what? If they ever like,
actually, I think they do.
No, you're thinking of Dueling Book. Dueling Book has a speed duel format.
Oh, whatever.
If we ever shit, I got demoted from 67 to 81.
Playing it as we're recording. Fuck you.
Fuck you.
I mean, I'm on Twitter, so
if they ever if they ever took the Yu-Gi-Oh card or the dice battler and made that a real game, I would love that.
Dungeon Dice Monsters? That would
Dungeon
be
Dice
sick.
Monsters. Well, what's funny is I guess Disney tried to do that with Star Wars at one point. They tried to have their own Dungeon Dice Battler, and apparently, like, I found it at my buddy's house the other day. He had like 7 or 8 of them. He had like the Hoth base where you have to like throw the dice and it blows up into something. You're like, oh god, that was so weird. But yeah, I got a gacha addiction. I've probably put. It's just so bad. I bitch about certain games not being real games, and yet all I've done for the last 2 weeks is play Call of Duty Modern Warfare in this gacha game. Speaking of which, if you play Call of Duty Modern Warfare and use a 725, your mom's a hoe.
Huh.
I'm sorry to hear about everyone's moms that listening to this. Apparently, they
Well, there's
this is a bad way for you to find out.
There's this issue in first-person shooter games, and everybody does this, where the shotguns, after about 3 feet, you might as well be throwing marshmallows at your opponent because they won't hurt them. And so in Call of Duty, they released a shotgun that you can actually snipe somebody from like 20 yards away with it, which, knowing actual shotgun ballistics, depending on like if you put like slug rounds in a shotgun, you could actually hit somebody at 50 yards, no problem.
Did you ever play Battlefield 3?
I played Battlefield 2 and 2142. I think I avoided 3.
Battlefield 3 had the best shotguns.
I want to say Rainbow Six Vegas had the best shotguns I've ever used.
I mean, maybe, but fuck, I'm not gonna play. What, I look like a fucking loser playing Rainbow Six?
Rainbow Six Vegas was fun. The second one was a glorified expansion pack, but the first one was fun.
I've heard a lot of good things
I'd
about
rather
that
just
one,
go to Vegas. Got him. You can't see it, but I'm dabbing.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
I imagine like one of your arms, like the flab, just hitting you in the chin and like breaking a tooth.
Speaking of Vegas, Fallout New Vegas, Obsidian,
Whoa.
Outer Worlds. Let's talk about Outer Worlds.
Oh, please, thank you.
I gotta finish bitching about this shotgun.
Oh, fucking hell.
So, the 725, right? They released a shotgun, and like generally, if you have a powerful shotgun, it's offset somehow. Like, shotguns are the weirdest thing to balance in a shooter, in my opinion. Because generally, if the gun has long range, it has to be a pump action shotgun, so that there's a cooldown between the range of your bullets. Well, what they did with the 725, it's an over-under double-barrel shotgun. So, if it takes you more than 2 bullets to kill the guy, you're going to die. But it has never taken me more than 2 bullets to kill a guy. And I've, like, outsniped a sniper across the map with this stupid-ass shotgun. Like, you put a ×4 scope on that thing, you'll kill everything. And so they released the 725, and it was so broken and overpowered that the patch notes specifically mentioned the 725 this week. It said, we decreased the range of the 725. And it's like, and there you go. Like, I want a long-range shotgun because I feel like shotguns should be longer range than 3 feet in front of you. But don't put it on the damn automatic.
Okay.
So, yeah, there you go. Okay, so Outer Worlds. Go ahead, Mike.
Outer Worlds. Oh, boy. So I've been, I've been looking at this game for, like, ages. I'm sure everyone has, right? Because
kind
it's
of.
Obsidian. You know the guys who made the good Fallout games? So
Obsidian makes all my good stuff.
Obsidian makes just good. They're just really good at writing things, I guess. And apparently now they're really good at graphics things because this game's gorgeous. But it's what do you want to say? It's Fallout in space.
Well, I did hear something. I heard that all the virtue signaling that is in the Borderlands games is like cranked up to 11 in the Outer Worlds. Is that true?
What? First of all, I haven't played the new Borderlands, and second, in what sense? I don't know. There's obviously very big political in messaging, but that's because it's the point.
But Fallout New Vegas did. No, I heard, and I need you to confirm this because like my sources are very biased. So I want to clarify. Is it true that every female companion in that game is a lesbian?
No.
Okay. Then,
there is a lesbian companion.
I'm sure there are lesbians. But
okay.
The first female companion I met seemed to have a crush on this dude in the village, but okay. I mean...
Well, kill him and choose her instead.
I'm a guy.
Yeah, so kill the male villager and seduce her instead. Just go full King David on him.
I'm not sure if you can, actually. I haven't found any romance options in any characters yet. I'm not sure if that's a thing, but we'll see. But secondly, I'm also going lawful good for this first playthrough. Probably going to go a crazy maniacal killer next time.
What's the point of playing an RPG if you can't seduce something? Like,
great question. The great character writing? Because it's a lot of that.
No, that's why Silent Hill 2 was actually, like, everybody always pretends Silent Hill 2 is, like, a masterpiece as far as, like, horror storytelling and stuff like that goes. But at the end of the day, you can't raw dog Pyramid Head, so why should I play it?
That's a good point. That's a really good point.
Mike, are you still there?
Oh, no.
Mike, are you there?
Yes, I'm sorry. God damn it. I was hoping I could get away while you guys were arguing with each other about fucking women.
Yeah, don't worry about it. But yeah, point being,
what did you do, Mike? Where did you go?
I had to answer the door because my fucking roommate's dumb brother's there.
Oh, okay.
Oh, fantastic. No, but like,
It's all good though. We'll leave this in because I left it muted. So go ahead.
Great. So, and I don't think there's any political like dog whistling or anything like that. There's obvious political bias against. I'm just going to put it down straight here. This game takes place in a capitalist dystopia. It's super late stage corporate worship gone haywire.
Okay.
And it's very intriguing because of that. I'm sure a lot of people, even people who are, whatever political thing you end up being, you can tell this is not a very good place to live. Basically, it's everyone's basically
The
like a
religions
slave.
are the law, science, and your corporation you work for.
People literally say, instead of like, and people say like, oh my god, people will say like, law, by the law. You know what I mean? It's really, really weird. It's really interesting. But like, everyone you meet on this like first planet, is like basically like super duper,
the first person you meet is a dude with a fatal gunshot wound, bleeding out, and he's like, come over here real quick. And then as soon as you walk up to him, he's like, oh, it's not the best choice, but it's Spacer's choice.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, I fucked it up.
Yeah, he literally has like a slogan, for his company as he's like bleeding out and dying. Like
he has to get the slogan out because he works for the company.
Yeah.
If he doesn't, they might reprimand him.
That's the kind of shit you're introduced to this with, and it's consistent.
Then if you have a high medical stat and you heal him, he's like, oh man, the company's not gonna be happy about that. And if you rat on him, he gets in trouble.
Yep.
For not dying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not for not dying, but for being damaged on the job.
It's taking help from the people other than them. Also,
not to mention damaged goods, because later on there's like, you meet like a cemetery guy, a gravekeeper, that's it. And he says like, anyone who dies is damaged property of Spacer's choice, and we can't have that, so gotta pay, everyone has to pay their own funeral bills and stuff in advance. So...
and that's even fucking wilder, because all the plots, like you said, are owned by Spacer's choice, and if you die, rather than, okay, well, you go into the ground now, no, your payments still need to be made, so they get transferred to the nearest relative. And I don't mean the nearest person that is related to you, I mean the person closest to you relative to where you died. They have to take on your payments.
Yeah. It's
it's really fucked up.
It's still got this like tongue-in-cheek kind of follow to humor, but it's still very morbid.
It sounds like there's more tongue-in-cheek than there is.
There's a lot of tongue-in-cheek for sure. I mean, that's the kind of writing they do, but it's still very depressing. It's still very like, it's just every time you talk to somebody, you come away. I think Pat said this exact thing on the Castle Reviews podcast. I don't want to rip him off, but I agree with him 100%. Every time you stop talking to somebody in this game, other than like a few choice people, you come out feeling completely depressed about like, wow, this is the state of the world.
Well, there's something you can do. You can take something, and it's kind of like what the court jesters used to have to do. It's a balancing act where you take something and you find the worst possible part of it, and you extrapolate it to such a ridiculous level that even if I was like, so we'll say corporatism here, because this game feels very corporatism.
Oh yeah.
Like to some people, corporatism could be a good thing, but the object is to find the worst aspect of corporatism, because no ideology is perfect except for Mormonism. There's no you got to find like the worst possible aspects of it, and then extrapolate on it to the most ridiculous level. So realistically, at no point will we ever see a society where you have to say the company's slogan as you're dying. But it's so ridiculous that no matter who you are, it's funny.
Yeah, like, it's basically that like the corporate, well, it's not really corporate worship, it's forced corporate worship, in the sense that if you don't, like, if you're not constantly smiling, if you're not constantly putting on a nice face and, like, being cheery, you are reprimanded, maybe killed. It's like, it's that bad.
And at that point in the story, these corporations have been living out in the lawless outer worlds for so long, like at least over 70 years, because your character sets out on the journey to go out there
in a 70-year cryo freeze. Yeah.
and he's in a cryofreeze for 70 years. So they've been doing it for longer than 70 years. They've already, like, set up themselves, like, to be worshipped. And a lot of the people you come across, they don't, like, they're at the point where they don't see anything wrong with it. It's just their life.
Well, some of them do, some of them don't feel anything wrong with it, and some of them clearly do, but they will hide it to the best of their ability, and you can tell, but it's like great voice acting, and I gotta give props to that.
And even like people who straight up are sucking on that corporate teat, and they spew all the bullshit, they can even not be a bad person. They just, that's the corporation they work for.
Yeah. It's really, really well done, and it's very, very concerning. I played the
only
entire...
people I've seen complaining about that aspect of the game are people who are actual corporate bootlickers.
Oh, of course, yeah. They would.
Which only, I legitimately think only Americans would defend that. Like,
yeah.
I think even, like, a Japanese salaryman couldn't defend that.
Oh, no, I mean, that's like the hell that they're... I think Japan, more than anyone else, are the people, like, the closest to living in this kind of thing. So...
they have their own word for dying from overwork.
Yeah.
It's karoshi.
Yeah. So
I thought karoshi was a fetish.
I swear, no.
Yeah, the worst thing about it is how, like, it's religions are formed around the concept of how the harder you work, the healthier you'll be in mind and spirit, because they just want them to work as hard as possible. It's
there's this
really
dying old
up.
lady who's dying because of I mean, I'm not going to spoil it, but there's a disease going around and she's dying from it, and she's like, oh well, I obviously didn't get sick because of the plague. I got sick because I didn't work hard enough.
Yeah.
You should get away from me.
That's great.
It's wow.
It's super fucked up, and it's because I'm not as far as debt is when it comes to communism, but man, I'm right on the border, and it's got the flavor I like in my mouth.
Yeah, and it's tough too, because it doesn't, because there comes decisions, of course, involving like perpetuating that concept you could either like, I mean, I made this before. I mean, I made this kind of concept before, right? Like, you know, Nuketown or whatever it is in Fallout 3, where you could just try to destroy or save a town. It's not the exact same decision. It's quite
to destroying
different.
it. There's
No, there
literally
isn't.
nothing to gain.
I haven't played Fallout 3, so I can't say it's an apt comparison. But people say that's like a big decision.
No, but it isn't, because there's literally no reason to be an asshole.
Okay, regardless, point being, there's a
He
similar...
means an impactful decision. You could blow it up, and there's things you lose.
Yes, that's not what happens. It's a very different kind of thing. There is definitely benefits to either choice you make. But a point being, you can put people at risk in that town, and you can say that you're not perpetuating that system anymore, but also you put those people's lives in danger. So it's a weird thing. Because they for the most part are innocent, just trying to live in this weird system they've been brought up in. So it's
and there's no morality system in the game either. There is a reputation system.
Yeah.
So if you want to play the game and be a corporate bootlicker, go ahead.
Yeah, you can. You can totally do that. It's
Okay.
clearly the game's very clearly telling you that's bad, but you can do whatever you want. That's what's great.
Okay.
So I might do that one time. I might actually just be like a total like bootlicker piece of shit. And like just kind of do it, and just perpetuate people into like slavery. So that'll be fun.
I look forward to a playthrough where I do that, and I just wear a suit the whole time.
Oh yeah, I don't know if there are any suits. I should find a suit. I should do that.
Oh, and your starting outfit too. I don't know if you looked at it. It looks pretty cool.
Oh yeah, it's got like these weird tubes that have physics properties on them.
Okay. So all right. So that's Outer Worlds. Is there anything else you want to add on it, or other than like the fact
real
that
quick, just if you want to try this game, it's like a full price game, $80 to $60 depending on where you live. But Game Pass on Microsoft Store is $1 right now. I don't want to like shill for them, but like it's really really good deal. If you pay $1, you get a full month of their whole library. Outer Worlds is on there. You can try a $60 game for a single dollar. Try it for a month. If you don't like it, don't pay again. So
and if you play games casually, you can beat this game in a month.
Yeah. So, that's a good deal. If you want to try that, probably a good choice.
Just remember to cancel if you don't want to keep it.
Yeah, make sure it's a subscription service that automatically renews. Make sure before the end of the month, if you don't want to keep going, be sure to cancel.
That's only on PC. It's available on Xbox too, but I think it's a little bit different.
Yeah, I'm not sure how Xbox version works. Talk about the PC version specifically for Microsoft Store.
And if you can only play on PS4, well, I go buy the game.
Yeah, sorry. But yeah, I think there might be a Switch port coming. I'm not sure. I was talking about that.
I
already.
think that's it. That would be wild.
That would be
I would actually buy
outer
that. It'd probably roll like ass.
out of this world. Anyway, yeah. Moving on. What's
I hate
next?
you so much. That was
So next up is Mike is destroying one of the core foundations of this podcast by discussing porn.
Let's talk about Evenicle, baby.
It's Evenicle. I have the store page up right now.
Evenicle.
It's Evenicle.
Is that on Steam?
Okay, I'm gonna pull it up too. Yes, it's on Steam.
So 3
It's
days
only
ago.
$44.
So actually, not 3 days ago. 2 days ago, at the time of this recording, one of our favorite YouTubers, Seth Zuthity,
I don't know how to pronounce it.
Yes,
Seth.
it's like some weird 40K amalgamate.
Scene Sock or something.
Yeah,
If I remember, I'll throw them in the description.
he made a video, and I think I subscribed to him after his CK2 video. But he made a video talking about this eroge, and I didn't actually watch the video. I was going to watch it with my wife probably later tonight. So go ahead, Mike, talk to us.
You should watch that fucking video because, like, okay, so if you're with us, audience, and you go to Steam and you look up, the pictures you're gonna see are very kind of plain. This could be a fucking Vita game,
Yeah,
and you're like, okay.
honestly, I
what?
gotta cut you out here real quick, Mike. Just so you know, the amount of content that came out on the Vita after Sony stopped distributing it, it was all porn.
Yeah.
Like,
A lot of it
after
was, yes.
Sony stopped supporting the Vita, everyone's like, all right, here's our Otome porn games.
But the thing that really sets Evenicle, I'll call it your dumb thing, even though I think it's probably
No, it's Evenicle.
It's definitely
Evenicle.
not even style.
No, it's
Whatever.
let's-
As we know, I being the Bear Stars guy,
Even Icicle.
I'm dyslexic.
No. But like, let's think about how the Japanese pronounce things, and they do it by
Unicycle.
syllable. So it's Evenicle. So it's Evenicle.
Okay.
Anyway, this game,
Evenicle.
it has the aesthetics of a fucking a late PS2 game or a Vita game.
I would say
it's
even
anime-
PSP.
It's anime as shit, and it's a turn-based RPG. And these types of games, because there's I play a lot of anime trash RPGs. It's like, I like living in the shit, and there's so many awful ones, but Jesus fucking Christ. Remind me to talk about Knights of Azure one day.
It's a
That was
giant
awful.
foot boss, I think.
But the thing that sets apart this game is its world, its lore, and its like the story and what happens. So basically, even Evenicle, that's what I'm calling it, Evenicle. In Evenicle, it's the world is ruled by a goddess, and the goddess basically said, "All right, everybody, all of you can only have one partner, one sexual partner, and that's it."
This sounds like a Mormon paradise. Well, not exactly. It'd be like 1 per woman, but then like 7 per dude. So
And if you have a second partner, you get branded with a sign that looks like the Dark Soul sign. It's actually a ring that forms around your finger, and you get cursed to being a lower class person. Essentially,
so it's just like real life.
it's gonna get worse. And everyone watch this video because everything until it starts going into the higher details of the actual world is like, okay, this anime is shit. So this is about to get fucking weird. So the main character is a dude who wants to fuck his 2 sisters.
Okay.
Yeah, anime,
Sounds
right?
anime so far, yeah.
And he in this world, if you become a knight, basically, the goddess says, "Oh, you're a strong warrior. You must have strong seed, and I want you to spread that around. So I'll let you have more than one partner." And your leveling system is leveling up, getting levels, and she allows you to have more partners. That sound like already anime trash, but this is where it gets fucking nuts. So there's content in this game that if you're someone who cares about trigger warnings, man, just mute this podcast for a minute. The plot in this game is fucking dark. There's in the video it talks about he tried to make it PG, so he talked about he watched a scene that made him lose his lunch, where a woman which he describes as a bowling ball. So this bowling ball gets assaulted by a sausage that's too big to fit inside of any of her finger holes. And that sausage as well hadn't ate anything in, 2 weeks. So as that sausage is trying to violate the holes, it was also trying to eat the bowling ball.
I can't tell if this is a fucking, like, you're trying to be weirdly obtuse, or is this actually exactly, like, what's happening?
No. What actually happens is an orc is trying to rape a woman.
Okay, thank you, Jesus.
And cannibalize her at the same time.
And the penis is too big to fit inside of her vagina.
Duh.
And as he's trying to fuck her, he's also biting graphically through her fucking neck.
Ah, yeah.
And there's voice acting in this game, guys.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I actually, I'll be honest with you, I don't like the direction this conversation's going.
This game's dark.
And I'm not weak-willed by any mean. I've definitely seen some stuff, like, we always joke about, like, the degenerate porn that Zoomers find. Like, you gotta realize, like, my generation and Mike's generation, when we started, we had to go through LimeWire for porn. And you want to talk messed up stuff, like, you will find nothing more messed up than when you found on LimeWire circa 2004. This is I don't know, I don't love this content. I don't, like, we're not joking about this content anymore, and I don't love this conversation.
This is a very dark game, but I like fucked up shit, so I'm eventually gonna buy this game and play it. There's like something else that's more fucked up than that, but I won't go into it. That one's, like, watch the video. I'm gonna put it now in the description because he talks about it.
Well,
it's fucked up.
Just to clarify, like, I can handle a lot, and like this scene probably actually wouldn't faze me all that much. It's just because I can handle something doesn't mean I'm proud that I can handle something. So
yeah, the game, and apparently it has really good waifus too. But man, it will make you uncomfortable, and I look forward to playing it one day because I like being made uncomfortable. How are you guys feeling? Are y'all uncomfortable?
Not really.
I can't believe I'm gonna do this, but instead of playing that, go on Patreon and drop $10 on the current release of Roundscape. It's also an erotic game made by Western content creators that has pretty much any fetish you could want, like, aside from scat and cannibalism.
I thought that was going to be RuneScape without edges.
No. Just buy that instead. It's also a soul-destroying porn game, which I don't advocate for, but it doesn't involve cannibalism. So,
even style, $45 on Steam. Pick it up.
$45, good lord.
Just don't, like, better yet, don't buy porn, just go to church. Instead of buying porn, just go work out. Like, please, be a better person, strive to, like, fix your frontal lobe.
Speaking of working out, let's talk about Kengan Season 2.
Oh, we're finally on anime, boys, we did it.
We
took about 1 hour.
59 minutes, and we finally got to anime.
Hey, that's what we're all about here. Kengan Asura Season 2. What do you guys think? Did you watch any, Moth?
No. I you gotta realize, like, and I feel bad saying this, but if my wife isn't interested in it, there's a damn good chance I'm not gonna watch it.
It's fine.
Which sucks, because I still haven't finished Baki.
It's okay, because Mike went above and beyond my expectations, and I fucking told, the boys today. Not today. Last week. The boys. I fucking told the boys. Okay, Kengan Season 2 came out. I know you guys are not super into it. How about you guys watch episode 8, 11, and 12? That's all I need, and we'll have a discussion on that. Mike went ahead and watched all of seasons 1 through 2, so...
I sure did.
You sure did.
Man, that show is not good.
You don't think so?
I do not. I still don't like it.
That's fair enough. But I mean, you went through the whole thing. So,
It was entertaining. I think there are good moments with it, but a lot of my problems are still narrative.
I mean, fair enough, right? I mean, I don't know. To be fair, like I said, there's less stuff going on in the anime than there in the manga. Like I said.
Before I go into that, though, let's just do a little overview, because last time we talked about Kengan, it was a meme.
Yeah.
Now we can actually talk about Kengan.
Yes, please.
So, Kengan Asura is a story of Oma. I didn't know his name last time we talked about it, but I've watched it enough and heard it a few times. So, his name's Oma, and he is a fighter.
Like, he is a fighter from wow. Now that I just about to say his lore, and I realize how much is cut out from fucking the anime. He's a fighter from a place called the Underground, which is a really messed up kind of portion of the city of Japan, I think, that has just been basically ignored by the rest of society because it's hard to control. This is all left out of the anime, but there's this whole like underground society basically that's just kind of left alone because they can't handle how much shit goes on there. So he was a kid born in there, and then had some trouble growing up. We kind of have some shrouded in mystery stuff about his upbringing until later, and eventually he ends up in a fighting tournament. So there you go.
Kengan Asura the Kengan Life or Death tournament.
Yeah, Life or Death. Well, they call it the Annihilation Tournament in the subs. Sorry, not in the subs, the manga. So I don't know why they changed it to some really weird dumb thing, but whatever.
Because they're dumb.
Annihilation Tournament rolls off the tongue a lot better, if you ask me. And I have a shitty tongue. But
yeah, I should know. He does not like my balls very well.
Funny. Yeah. Fucking.
But the story, it's very much nothing. It's a show that's carried on. Well, it's a show that's carried. I was about to say on its art, but the show does not carry itself on the art at all.
Nah.
The show is carried on how much you like the characters.
Yes.
Which a lot of their stories are cut down in the first season, but they get fleshed out more in the second. And also the 3D animation.
Yeah.
The actual like quality of the models aren't great, but the animation is in places impeccable.
Yeah, honestly, I'm very impressed. Season 1 looked okay. It had some spots here that looked pretty good, but at most I'd say that Season 1 was passable as far as visuals go. But Season 2 kicked it up a lot. Kind of everywhere.
Season 2, it I would say on just a storytelling, a character level, on the quality of the 2D art and the quality on the 3D art overall is a big improvement.
Yeah, it's just a big ol' upgrade, honestly. The pacing's a lot better. The story actually starts slowing down and telling you more things about the characters instead of just rushing through it. The characters have time to actually interact with each other, and the fights just look better. And it's just nice. If you're gonna watch any of it, watch Season 2.
My biggest problem with Season 2 is the fact that they actually go through the effort of going into these characters a little bit more, and I realize, why is that a problem? And I'll tell you. The reason that's a problem is because they'll... Like, my best example is Mickey, which is Mickey Mouse. He represents fucking this fake world's version of Disneyland.
Yeah.
And he was told that Disneyland's gonna get shut down if he doesn't fight for him, so he goes and fights for him. And he's like he's a Yankee fighter. He's really cool. He has a good design and a really not crazy backstory or anything, but a simple and effective backstory. And over the course of the ending of one episode and the halfway point of the second episode, you see all that and you're like, okay. And then the fight starts and it ends in less than a minute.
Yes.
That's a lot of build up for nothing, and it feels like a blue ball. That's the problem with Season 2. There's a lot of build up of each character, and then the fight will be a minute long, and you'll be like, okay, what was that?
I understand where you're coming from, and maybe it's worse than... Here's the thing, it's hard for me to dissociate my knowledge of what happens in the manga from the anime. So, you know what I mean? So maybe there's stuff that... maybe there's stuff that's not included that I just assume is, despite me watching it directly. So that might affect my judgment here, but the way I thought about it was, I think it's kind of cool that everyone has their own story, even if it's not crazy complicated. Everyone gets a little story section, and if they get eliminated that, in the next fight within 5 minutes, that's just gonna happen. But it just kind of makes you interested in seeing how it'll turn out anyway. I understand, yes, there are some really short fights, and that's kind of to just show how strong some of the fighters are. Like the example you said with I think Ray was the guy who fought him. Like they call him the Lightning God. He literally punches him one time with this crazy lightning fast punch, and like it's just like an instant basically, and he's just knocked out. So
but that's the thing. Not every fight that's similar to that is bad on the show.
No.
Like the fight of the doctor versus the inmate, you get a little bit of the backstory of why the inmate needs to die.
Yeah.
And it's really effective because he comes onto the fucking field in handcuffs, and you're like, okay, what's gonna happen here? Also, another issue that I have with Kengan Asura, and I think this is just because it's Kengan Asura, I went into almost every fight looking at the characters, knowing which one was gonna win, and it's always it's almost always the person that the crowd isn't rooting for in every single fight. With exceptions, obviously.
That kind of reminds me of did it a Dempsey roll? What the hell was that called?
Ippo?
Ippo, thank you.
For the first round, I would say for the most part that ends up being true, but it changes a lot coming rounds after that. I think
episode. I think it's 8 is where it changes, and that's the one where I think it's episode 8. It is episode 8. It's where the kickboxer fights that monster.
Yeah, totally.
And that fight is sick.
Are you referring to Cosmo versus Akuya?
No.
Okay, I'm confused.
That's the grappler versus
the policeman.
Cosmo's the grappler.
Yeah, he's a grappler. I just wondering if I got confused. So wait,
I'm talking about the one that is the kickboxer that.
The
MMA.
You mean Okubo versus the Fang? Yeah.
Yes.
So. It's one of my favorite fights. Yeah. So that's like a whole thing. The Fang's been being built up since the very beginning of the series, basically. Like, people keep whispering about, the Fang. He's like the strongest guy ever. Oh man, the Fang. And I'm really happy the way they did his first appearance justice in this, because I think they did it pretty well.
I love that fucking fight.
Yeah,
Moth,
it's my favorite.
You need to watch that fight.
Episode 8.
If only because it's the most accurate MMA grappling I've ever seen in animation.
And here's the thing. I was hoping about that. Go ahead.
No. If it's actually accurate to like MMA and stuff like that, then yeah, absolutely. Like let's do that.
The series as a whole prides itself on being mostly accurate as far as fighting techniques go. If a fighter comes up and they say they have a specific technique that exists in real life, it's going to be accurate, and that's what's really cool. And what I like about the Okubo versus Fang fight, particularly in the manga, was I said like, wow, these grapples actually look like really good. I wonder how it would look in motion to see them actually transitioning from these grapples, because it made logical sense, and the way the manga was illustrated really, really did a good job of showing that. And I should show you some panels after this. Remind me that. But
as someone who's watched MMA, I was as soon as the grappling started, I started clapping because I was like, that's perfect.
Yeah. I'll just remind me after the podcast. I'll show you some like panels, because like I think you'll find they did it really well. So I was really actually very happy.
Clapping. No, I actually, for some reason, I wanted to do MMA at one point. I was like 20 when I did this, like 21.
MMA is dangerous.
And I actually trained in MMA, and I remember to this day, the stupidest thing I ever had to do was called monkey climbs, where one of you, it's a 2-person workout, and one of you stands with your legs apart, with your butt slightly lowered in this like tree, like this weird semi-T pose. And the other guy has to climb around your body from neck to neck. Like, they start on one of your shoulders. They have to grapple their way around your shoulder without touching the ground. Get to back to the original shoulder and just do that as many times as you can for 3 minutes straight. And I don't know why, but I'll never forget that.
Huh.
Probably because that's the weirdest fucking thing I've ever heard.
Now, I got one for you guys. We good with Kengan? We done with Kengan?
For the most part.
Okay,
yeah, it's
good.
It's really it's a very watchable show. Like it's something that even if you watch it sub, you can put it on the background and like fold laundry and still like not really miss anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not really a criticism. It's all right.
Okay.
Yeah, my final words on it would just be like, I feel the same way about the first season in the sense that it's not a replacement for the manga. It's still got a lot of problems with it. But as far as the anime went, it's a huge, huge improvement. And if you like the first season, you'll probably like this one a lot more. And also,
the last fight, and it's pretty insane.
Oh, the last fight's crazy. It's the Dragon Ball Z fight.
Okay. So you guys remember an hour and 8 minutes ago when I mentioned how much I hate The Office and how
Please,
I don't
yes.
understand how it has such a strong fan following?
Mm-hmm.
I've had a show and a manga that has been discussed to me, and people have been talking about how it is the most grandiose, most philosophical, most they've spoken nothing but positive things about it, and they've mentioned like, oh man, it's so deep. It talks about issues with our society in a way that's easy to comprehend, and it's got so much good content. It's got so many relatable characters. Like, I cannot believe how good this show is, and that's Beastars. And so for the last 4 months, every one of my Discords that does anime, except for the one Discord that bans furries, will not shut up about Beastars. And it was like, oh boy, it's finally getting an anime, so I finally get to get around to watching this. And I did. And I actually just... it's my job now to knock it off of the pedestal. I could see how Beastars is a very C+, B- manga, C+, B- anime. I can see that. I legitimately can see that. However, it's not this A+ material everybody's been talking about. It actually has the comprehensive writing skills of like a 7th grader trying to write their version of Lord of the Rings. Like, I have an issue, and American TV shows do this a lot, and I don't know why like a manga is doing this. But Lewis is the worst example of this. He does this more than anybody. Lewis will say something to a character, and there will be 3 Krillins around him explaining what he said, but each of them says something different. Like, Lewis says this, well then Lucio, or whatever the main character's name is, Lugosi goes, oh wow, I feel like Lewis said this, and then some like random zebra in the corner will be like, I can't believe Lewis is actually inferring this. And there's like, there's so much meaning behind what every individual character is saying that there's actually nothing. Like, there's so much content that there's actually no content. And so it's got the comprehensive writing skills of an angsty 7th grader. And it's like, it's almost Animal Farm level of how bad it is.
How convenient.
Like, yeah, really.
Okay, I want to...
Are
you done yet?
No, the metaphors suck.
Okay.
The metaphors suck. What is that called when somebody is saying something but they're saying something else while they're saying it? Like, the words mean something, but then what they're actually saying.
Allegory?
Metaphor.
No, not an allegory. It's the young Pope did it a lot, where it's like, yeah, that's somebody that is predatory, but they're not saying like they're actually a cannibal.
A red herring?
No,
it's metaphor.
It's not a metaphor. It's a simile.
Oh! I've been holding it in.
All right, go.
Oh, have we been watching the same show?
Yeah, like the closest thing to what you're describing with the characters I can even think of are the fucking the fucking Harlequin rabbits.
What?
What are you talking
about?
The
show is really simple. I don't.
Yeah, there's so much exposition in the damn anime that it just
Where?
Moth, are you getting exposition mixed up with fucking dialogue?
Yeah, but the dialogue is so filled with exposition that here it is. It's a noun, a comprehensive description and explanation of an idea. Or
I know
theory.
what it means.
But like there's so much of it. Like I remember in episode 3, Lugosi is sitting there slooping in front of Lewis, and Lewis is like, "Bite me, Lugosi," and it's like it's weird. He's telling Lugosi to bite him, and there's like 4 reasons as to why he's doing this, and like they don't seem like teenagers.
The only reason in that scene, because I know what scene you're talking about, the only reason Lewis is like that is because he looks at Lugosi, who's a predator, and he, who is expected to be, a passive,
herbivore.
Opposite of a predator. Fuck me.
Herbivore.
Yeah, a passive herbivore. He sees Lugosi acting like a little bitch, and he's telling him, "Stop being a fucking bitch." Like that's what's happening there.
Right, but that's the thing. Like They can't just say that.
It has to be. It's like it's the easiest inference to make.
It's the metaphor of the show. He's literally a predator, and he's telling him to act like a predator. And you're like, why isn't he just telling him not? Like, why is he just saying don't be a bitch?
Come out and say, and they're like, you're actually getting character drama because the characters aren't communicating properly. It's like literally. This is a Tower of Babel bullshit between the characters. Where it's like, I'm clearly telling you something, Lugosi, and Lugosi isn't getting it, and then the rabbit's trying to ride his dick.
That's because Lugosi doesn't get things because he second guesses himself because he doesn't have any confidence.
Oh, speaking of Lugosi, can we talk about the worst possible main character I've seen in years?
Moth, you're banned from the podcast.
Like, banned. Somehow this is worse than what is that anime that like it's a shonen but nobody likes it, like Bible Black or something?
All of them then?
It's
Bible Black, that one.
It's the one with the kid who's got the black book and
Black Clover.
Yeah, Black Clover. Thank you. Death Note.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck you.
But it's like Lugosi is somehow worse than the main character of Black Clover,
Because he's
Black
not
Star.
Yelling? I don't understand.
You haven't explained what makes Lugosi a bad character?
He's a baby back bitch. He is the character. He is like an old style main character where he exists for things to happen to him. And
I'm guessing you didn't watch the fucking 4th episode.
Yeah, no, I didn't because I dropped it after episode 3 because I was so fed up.
That's a cringe move.
Well, look, I've given this show 3 episodes, and I will always stand by the argument that if you have to tell somebody it gets good after episode,
it gets
and
good
you
after
don't say episode
0.1.
Episode 1 is fucking awesome.
No,
what are you talking about?
It's not. It's bad. The OP is bad. The anime
that's actually
bad.
like the worst take I've ever heard.
Oh my god!
This song is an actual jam.
The song is a jam, but the claymation is just terrible.
Claymation?
It looks so sick. Also, it's not claymation, it's stop motion.
Okay, the stop motion claymation is just bad.
It's not. They're puppets, you fucking
They're clay models that they just like rolled on a carpet
clay,
and picked up all the animal
I don't think you know what
fur.
clay is, you fucking imbecile.
I actually love that opening, man.
Yeah, it's great.
I
It's
like
so
the
adorable.
song, I just hate the animation. It just looks so
It's
like rigid.
so good. Yeah, because it's stop motion. It's good stop motion.
It really isn't though. Like they need to watch Corpse Bride if they want good stop motion.
Oh, go fuck yourself. That movie looks like ass.
It does, but it has like one of my favorite waifus of all time in it.
He wants to fuck a corpse.
Yeah.
I can't criticize though. I want to fuck that rabbit.
Oh, dude, that rabbit isn't even attractive. Like,
Fuck you.
Dude, she takes being a furry so far to the next level that it's like,
I will say the fact that she has rabbit eyes when no one else has animal eyes is weird.
Real talk though,
But
I think Lugosi's like probably my favorite main character this season, just because like I feel very similar. I guess I don't know because it's the show has very clear allegories. It might not be the exact intention, but at least to me, I feel like there's very clear allegories to the idea of portrayed masculinity in terms of Lugosi. Because like everyone's expecting Lugosi, this big gray wolf, to be like this aggressive predator, right? And he doesn't really want to be that. He kind of just wants to do his own thing and be passive, which is kind of similar to the concept that like people expect a lot of men to just be this manly, stand up, drink beer, and look at titties all day kind of guy.
Careful, Frog. We're getting a little metaphorical, and I think Moth might be steaming.
No. My issue with Lugosi though is like he deserves to get hit by a truck.
What?
He's pathetic. He's not something I want to watch. Like
I think
he's
you're perpetuating
garbage.
the exact idea that I just said.
Exactly. Like he's so bad of a character that like I get it, but I don't think he should be the main character. He should be the Krillin to the Goku in the series. Like
It's not about that. It's just
Oh
not
my
a shonen.
god, this isn't a shonen battle show, you fucking normie. Ree!
No, this is just he got this wolf and like it's just he's so like he's not even really an apex predator. Like if you look at the wolves, like at like where wolves sit, like they're way below the grizzly bear.
It's almost like
They're
4
below the
has a
lions and the
conflict between
tigers.
2 predators and stuff. I don't know.
I just
The the show is about societal expectations, and
it does it in the Animal Farm level, where everything is so plain that there's no room to think about it. But then
What?
they try to make you think about it by having the characters not communicate properly.
What? They
It
talk.
they
intentionally
talk all the
obtuse.
time. The only person that doesn't talk is Lugosi, and he doesn't talk because he's fucking awkward.
Yeah, I don't think Lugosi's a good character. Like, if you want a good awkward
Lugosi's
character
a
like this,
super realistic character. What do you mean?
look, just
He's one of my favorite characters of all time. Honestly,
here, instead of watching Beastars, read Goodnight Pune Pune or watch Welcome to the NHK.
Pune.
unite the pune.
Pune. I mean, I've heard Goodnight Pun Pun's actually very good. I think that's Mike's favorite. But
Yeah, Goodnight Pun Pun is my favorite manga of all time.
No, it's Pune Pune.
I
It's
think
Pun
I think
Pun.
Poon is like the last thing you could say, but not Pune.
Let's see here. It's Goodnight Pune Pune.
It's
Ratatouille.
It's not. There's no
let's see
Y
here.
in there.
Oh no, there isn't a Y, so it is Goodnight Pun Pun.
Yeah. Okay.
Fuck.
Pune. That's the first time I've heard
man.
that one.
No, like Beastars. If anybody like if you're kind of not an anime connoisseur and like you listen, you listen to what your friends tell you to do. Just avoid Beastars.
If you
It's
like
not-
stories
Wait,
and like to enjoy
if you
writing,
listen to what your friends tell you what to do, do this thing I'm telling you to do.
Well, your friends are going to tell you to watch Beastars. They're going to tell you it's deep and it's philosophical.
no one's
and
saying this. They're saying it's just a good
character
allegory.
interactions. No,
It
it's
is.
not a good allegory.
It's
Your
a
idea of
fantastic
good character
allegory.
Your idea of good character interactions is two dudes being balls deep in each other.
Yeah, because then you know they have a solid connection. I don't
Yeah.
feel a connection between Lois and Lugosi.
Lewis
There
and
is a
Lugosi
very
have,
aggressive connection between the two. You
They
shouldn't feel
don't
like
have
they're
a very
intimate.
aggressive connection.
What?
Yes, Lewis is, we talked about it last episode. There's a fantastic, like duality between, the fact that a lot of the herbivores in the show act predatory and where, Lugosi, our carnivore main character, acts more like a predator. Like I hate you so much, Moth. You're making my head hurt.
By the way, I have a question for you. Have we seen dolphins in this anime? Like, have
wish.
we seen orcas or like dolphins or like
I
sharks?
fish.
Because I got
hate
some
you.
that was annoying the ever living daylights out of me, and this just goes to show how very little this Japanese man understands animals.
It's a girl, but okay.
Oh, the mangaka's a girl? Okay, even better. This must be the first female mangaka who can't write then. No, because normally female mangakas make great things, like Demon Slayers, Full Metal Alchemist.
I agree. This mangaka is amazing.
No, she's not.
Dorohedoro.
Because, like, when we're talking about the school breakfast, lunches, and dinners, and, like, they're giving the predators, like, soy substitutes, like, why aren't they giving them fish? Like,
Because fish is
Be-
meat. What?
Yeah, but that's
Meat is
fine.
outlawed in this society.
okay, no. Even vegetarians eat fish.
It's no, they don't. Not
No,
real ones.
pescatarians
Just
eat
fucking with us
fish.
now.
No, like, honestly, like, the fact that they're carnivores not eating, like, actual, like, any
That's
sort
the
of B12
point.
proteins is horrible.
That's the
point. They take. There's a fucking plot point in the 4th episode about one of the characters doping with rabbit blood because it makes him feel more like fucking.
Stop it.
Fucking.
Holy crap, this manga is terrible. But you know what? Something that was good from episode 1 that I want to talk about, because Beastars, not good episode 1, not good episode 2, terrible episode 3. A
That's
show that
wrong.
has a really good first episode is Hazbin Hotel.
You don't get to just know.
I didn't watch
If
that.
someone's transitioning, it's gonna be from someone who knows what they're talking about.
I do know what I'm talking
Beastars-
about, and Beastars is overrated.
Beastars good. Hazbin Hotel also good. Let's talk about it.
Okay,
And
all right.
watch
So
it.
before we talk about Hazbin Hotel, I want to talk about the controversy. So,
Oh yeah, this is dumb.
now, I could be aggressive, like I've seen the people on Twitter and being like, every smooth brain doesn't like Vivzy or whatever, but I'm not. I'm going to talk about the controversy. There has been some
the
controversy
non-controversy, if
with
you will.
Vivzy. Vivzy has actually been making content since she was like a kid. Like, she is the type, like my wife, who has been an artist from childhood. Like, and so a lot of people bring up the fact that she had some weirdly pedophilic comics. And
I can debunk that.
Yeah, and we can debunk that. Like, yes, I'm not going to defend ebophilia or whatever it's called, where somebody who's barely 19 is attracted to a barely 16-year-old. Like, that's not okay.
Yeah.
I constantly rail on Marines who are 21 years old dating 17-year-olds. Like, that's not okay.
The characters in question about that controversy, one of them is 18 and one of them is 19.
Yeah, so, and it's, we run into that category where it's like, she's an 800-year-old dragon. It's okay if she looks like
those
a lolly.
are just, it's night and day. Those are the characters' ages.
Now, I will say she's done something shitty, and somebody brought up that she has some of her comics behind a paywall, and she hasn't updated the comics, so you're paying for something that's not complete. I do think that's shitty. I do think she should take an action on that.
But why?
Well, no, she should be like, hey, I never completed this, so either don't get your hopes up, and I'm either going to close this down, or I'm going to make the content free for you guys to read without having to go to E621.
But why should it be free?
Well, she should at least address it and be like, hey guys, yeah, I never finished this. Hazbin is now taking up my time. If you want to read it, just know it doesn't end.
I mean, fair enough.
Yeah. And there has been work, like she was working with other artists and they kind of feel like she got gypped. And I think what happened there is she did what artists do. She took on too much work and couldn't finish it. And honestly, she has been good though with Hazbin. I think she's learned a lot of lessons over the years, and Hazbin's pilot being finished just proves to me that she has taken it to the next level, and she is a acceptable content creator now, and she's grown from her past mistakes. She's made mistakes, like absolutely. Vivzy has made mistakes, and she should get her licks for it, but it should not affect Hazbin Hotel going forward because she treated her animation team well. She treated the voice actors she worked with well. Everyone, like, I mean, you see it on the streams she did. Like, everybody loved this project. So I think that she did need to get her licks for what she did. But I think we can move on past it because I don't think she did anything that actually deserves for her to be canceled.
Of course not. I mean, I don't think canceling in general is any...
well, no, cancel culture is garbage, but the fact that and the fact that I have to say that is worse. But
oh, yeah.
But Moth, cancel culture doesn't exist. Haven't you heard?
Yeah,
I just gone through. I didn't watch the. I just watched the fucking. I didn't watch the show, but I'm going down through like YouTube uploads, and she's been like, there's like stuff about this like up to 3 years ago. This is like been in the been in the works for a while.
30 minutes of animation took them 3 years.
Yeah,
and it's really good.
I haven't watched it. I've heard. Now, I've seen clips on Twitter that it looks good visually.
It's. I'm gonna warn you right now. You're gonna have to watch this 3 times at least, because every time you watch it, you're gonna notice things you missed. Like the fact that Angel Dust at first, when you first see him, just seems like a sex craved like pervert, and as you watch it over and over again, you learn that Angel Dust isn't actually a sex craved pervert. He is the type of person like me who can only get off by pissing everyone off around him. And so you realize that he's discovered that usually sex and talking about sex is the best way to do it. But then you have a scene where he's in the limo with the other 2 characters and he doesn't talk about sex really at all. And he's still pissing them off and loving it. Like, I mean, he loves
I feel like it's a thing you can notice in the first time through.
You I watched it once, and the fact that he's an attention whore is like,
yeah, but like a lot of people are like, oh, he's just a prostitute, he's a sex craved pervert.
I mean, if people are saying that, they're probably just bad at reading media. There's a lot of people who do that.
Have you?
A couple of them on this podcast.
Yeah, right. Have you seen like some of the YouTube videos people have made? Are like, has been bad. It not funny. Guy say penis. Oh, so
I've heard
funny.
I saw some Twitter
really
posts
hard.
about like there's this Twitter post going around that's just like this MS Paint version of one of the characters, and it just says sex, and it's like it's going. But, yeah.
That's Angel Dust.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah.
But like,
and that's like the most. And here's the thing: you don't have to like Hazbin Hotel, but if you're coming out here with those opinions, that just tells me you didn't watch it past the first 5 minutes.
I don't know.
Like Hazbin Hotel, like there's lots of criticism you can make about it. I don't think it's perfect,
No,
but
it's
I
not.
do think it's like, for what it is, a pilot that someone worked on with other animators. It wasn't just Vizzy working on it.
And it's a complete labor of love from start to finish.
I feel like
and the fact
it is
that
a little
other
weird how she
animators
sold a
worked
bunch
on
of merch for it years in advance, but that's just me.
Dude,
that's just fun,
look at the consumer horror media, though. Like, everybody was happy to buy that. If we weren't happy to buy it, she wouldn't have made money.
I'm not judging. I'm just saying it's a little weird.
The fact that all these other animators worked on it, but Vizzy was able to maintain the style
Relative cohesion.
no matter who was it's not like fucking Fire Force where
Or
like
Shrek
Sakuga moment to fucking garbage.
Well, Shrek
in, like,
Retold
one
and
scene.
other animated collabs like that are meant to be a mess.
I know, but I'm
Yeah.
just saying, like, it's clearly a step above that. Plus, most important part of Hazbin Hotel. We going to talk about this?
I don't know.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I definitely don't know.
Stamper is back.
Oh yeah,
Oh, Stamper is back. And, like, here's the thing. Immediately Stamper is back.
I mean,
Stamper
hasn't left.
The
Yeah,
best
he has.
joke. Stamper has the best fucking joke in that pilot.
You mean the harder, daddy?
Son?
Son? Well, the thing is,
It's
if you
so
noticed,
fucking funny.
Angel Dust's voice actor kind of makes Angel Dust sound like Stamper when he says it.
Yeah, it actually, it does.
It sounds
like Stamper.
exactly like how Stamper would have said it. And so when Sir Pendleton's like, a son? It's like, it's perfect.
And Stamper puts a lot of conviction in that too.
Oh my
It's so he sells that fucking joke so hard. That is
He sells that character. Like, nobody
Yeah.
can do Sir Pendleworth?
Sir Pinchus.
Sir Pinchus.
Sir Pinchus.
Yeah, nobody could have do Sir Pinchus, which is sad because I would have loved to see Stamper as the radio demon. I would have loved to see him as Angel Dust. The fact that he's Sir Pinchus, I'm happy to
Recast
see.
the whole every character is just Stamper.
I would love that. But, like, I'm happy Stamper's in it. I wish he had a bigger role. But apparently he was supposed to be a one-off character, and he's received such positive feedback that they're trying to turn him into a more, like, consistent character. He's going to be Phineas and Ferb. Who's that one doctor?
Doofenshmirtz?
Yeah. It's feeling like Stamper is going to continue in the series as, like, Doofenshmirtz.
Fuck you. That actually, I think that would be good, but only if they continue to treat him as like a nothing villain that's in the background of every story.
Yeah,
he just appears and he steals every episode.
Yeah,
but,
he really did.
But what he did in the episode had nothing to do with the plot of the whole episode. It was just vaguely there. That's the level I want to keep it at, because if you and get a focus episode on him, obviously.
Yeah, obviously
that would be perfect.
How long is it going to take? Another 3 years? Like,
Mick,
this is a pilot, so if it gets picked up, like, it can get picked up.
oh, they're aiming for like network stuff. Okay, that's different.
Now talking about this, I don't think they should take a deal from Adult Swim or Sci-Fi. I don't think they should take a deal from
Sci-Fi
Adult
wouldn't
Swim.
pick this up. Adult Swim would, but I don't know.
I don't think they should take a deal from Fox, FX. I don't think they
of
should take
course
a deal from HBO or Showtime.
I mean, now you're just like,
No. They should take a deal from VRV or Netflix and nobody else.
I feel like Netflix would try and pacify the shit out of it.
yeah.
No, actually, I feel the opposite. I feel like Netflix would come to it and they would like go to Orange is the New Black and be like, there has to be a scene where Vaggie pees on Charlie. If that doesn't happen, we're not going to approve it. Did you not see Big Mouth? You have to have more sex. Because weirdly enough, for a show as degenerate as Hazbin Hotel was, there wasn't any sexual content.
No, just a lot of sex jokes.
Yeah, and I mean, sex jokes are fine, but there's a difference between, like, sex jokes and, like, making Angel Dust beat off on, like, the radio demon's face.
Yeah.
One last
What
thing, though.
can you do, my fine fellow? I can suck your dick.
I can suck a cock.
That's fucking good.
Now, here's the only thing I would like to see with Hazbin Hotel going forward. We got Stamper. We got Rice Pirate. We need Psychic Pebbles in the main cast.
Just that nasally little gnome.
Yeah.
He can play Hitler.
I actually, for some reason, feel like that'd be the perfect job for Zach.
Oh, God.
And he just plays a fucking bureaucrat.
That would actually be perfect. But, I mean, they did Hellbenders, so, like, it's
fucking
just
do
a step over. Just actually have him be Zack from Hellbenders. Like, just have him
Fuck
walking
it.
around.
Just a
Newgrounds,
crossover.
everyone from Newgrounds except for Aaron, you can get on this.
No.
Aaron doesn't want to associate with those guys anymore, apparently.
Yeah, because he's a bitch.
I mean, I think he made a post about that back when Palo made a thing. I don't know. That's all drama.
Aaron Hansen, I don't believe in cancel culture, but if everybody could just stop giving him money, I would appreciate that.
I don't believe in cancel culture, but if you could just, like, stop consuming and supporting and doing anything about this one guy in particular.
Well, I actually feel like there's now friction between him and Danny Sexbang, because Danny Sexbang is a good person and Aaron Hansen isn't. So it's just weird to see them working together.
This really is just keep constantly referencing earlier episodes of We Hate Anime. This is the nostalgia episode.
Oh, well, it's episode 13, so we officially beat the other We Hate Anime group.
Oh.
And we've been doing this for 6 months now.
Yep, that's true. Aaron, so yeah, what was it? Yeah, so like if we can get Sexual Lobster, like Fernando in Hell as well, like I would love that.
Fernando in Hell, that's just the next one animation he's working on.
He's just running around screaming like, "Where's the yogurt?"
Yeah. I watched a Sexual Lobster video. He's called like Greasy Tails now because he had a weird fuck up with the YouTube naming convention.
Yeah, he did. He found out he couldn't change his name back to Sexual Lobster.
Yeah, he couldn't because it was too bad for the new rules.
Yeah. All right, so we beat Hazbin Hotel to death. Mike, did you want to talk quickly on Pixar Soul, the trailer?
Yeah. Did you guys watch it?
What? Is out already?
No, not the movie, but the trailer for
Oh,
Soul.
no.
I was told that somebody was like, Pixar in 1991, what if toys had feelings? And then it was like, Pixar in 1997, like, what if monsters had feelings? And then they like kept going on, and they were like, what if fish had feelings? What if children had feelings? And now apparently this one is, what if black people had feelings?
Yeah, it's a fantasy story. It's really wild. But so Soul is, it's about from the trailer, it's about a black musician who dies, and the movie's obviously going to be about, the name's a double entendre, fellas. It's about soul music, but also he dead, so soul.
Oh, so it's just Ghost, but done by Pixar.
But the animation, it's really solid. The music
Pixar,
sounds
right?
really good. I really am looking forward to it. And, Pixar is starting again. They've got this movie, and they've also got that weird troll fantasy movie about the dad legs.
You mean Onward?
Yeah, I think that's what it's called.
Onward is Disney, though.
Yeah, Pixar is Disney.
No, Pixar is still somewhat... Here's the thing. If you go to Disneyland, you only ride Disney lines. But if you leave Disneyland and walk over to the park across the street, that's where the Toy Story, that's where the Pixar rides are. So Disney and Pixar are still different, at least as far as amusement parks are concerned.
Okay.
That is not how we differentiate, like companies. We don't... Yeah. Are the theme parks separated? Yes. Then they're different companies. Do you think the water park in Six Flags is a different corporation?
No, I'm just saying, the Jaws Adventure ride is at a different amusement park than, the Batman ride.
And just to dunk on you, because I think you're obnoxious, I just looked it up, and yes, Onward is Pixar.
Is it?
So shut up. Yes.
Because it literally looks like the team that did Frozen is doing it. I will say, I do not like this trailer. I did not just watch just now. I watched it 2 days ago, I swear. Everything looks like a caricature. It looks like those boardwalk artists in California that, can only draw, super enlarged, obnoxious details. If you watch the trailer in the first 5 seconds, they have a doctor walk across the screen, and she looks like a bad caricature of a Jewish person. And, that's the entire... I don't like these character designs at all.
Moth, you're the only person I could think of who doesn't want to think deeper about, Beastars, but also read Jewish stereotypes into a character's design.
I'm just saying, these caricatures look bad. They actually...
they're Pixar designs. You
No,
can not
they're
like
not
them, but that's what Pixar designs look like.
No,
they are.
Go look at Inside Out. The characters look fine in Inside Out. Go look at the most recent
They look
Toy
boring,
Story
though.
movie.
Inside Out, the same people are doing Soul did Inside Out.
Yeah, look at Bruh's Story 4. It's fine.
It was a good episode.
Like, and honestly, like it's not even like Up had better character designs than this, and one of the characters was literally a cardboard box
For
with another
organs.
cardboard box on top of them.
Organs are stored in the balls, so
Yeah.
it's fine.
I can't believe this, but Monster House has better character designs than this movie.
I mean,
but Monster House is an underrated classic.
it's a
It
pretty
is
good
not.
movie.
Moth, you're
I don't know
banned
about-
from the podcast.
I don't know about that, but I think it's a good movie.
Monster House is like the Casper 2 of movies.
But
That's such a specific reference.
isn't
that I
Casper
kinda
2
get.
the Casper 2 of movies?
I don't know. What is Casper 2? When did Casper 2 come out?
I don't know. I forgot it existed.
I just had to
What
listen
about
to my
Casper Saves
1997. So 1995, 1997, and then 1998 is Casper Meets Wendy. And by the time like Casper Meets Wendy came out, like the character designs look so terrifying that it actually like gives me nightmares.
But anyway, Pixar Soul.
Oh, and Casper Spirit Dimensions on the PS2.
So the main reason I wanted to talk, fuck you, god damn it, fuck you. The main reason I want to talk about Soul is that the trailer is out and looks fine, and I like it, but everyone's calling it racist because a black character dies, or no, because I honestly don't think anyone is actually paying attention to the trailer. Everyone
I think it
seems
set
to
the
think,
record for how quickly the black character died in a movie.
but that's the thing. Everyone who I've seen the trailer, they all keep talking about how he gets turned into a blob character when he's dying, and that's clearly his soul. Like it's even translucent. It's so obvious. But everyone's like, "Oh man, why is the black character got to not be black for most of this movie?" And like, A, you didn't fucking see the movie. B, shut the fuck up. He's dead. It's his soul. I hate people so much.
I actually think, and I'm going to get pseudo-political here, that our media has brought us to such levels of, like, everything has to be an extreme that we can't just enjoy a movie without having to infer, like, racist and terrible undertones to it. Like, I heard somebody
Says
the other
the
day
guy
was
who
talking
read a
about
Jewish
the trailer,
stereotype
and they
into a
mentioned that
character
the
design.
doctor looked like a Jew.
That's like a problem with the people, not the media. Media kind of perpetuates
that's
those
the
ideas
thing, like,
sometimes, but
these
people will be
content-
like, where are organs? So I don't know.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It doesn't look good to me.
Let people draw what they... sure, but let people draw what they want.
No,
basically.
this honestly looks like the Good Dinosaur of Pixar movies.
I mean, okay.
Good Dinosaur was a Pixar movie.
This is the this of the thing that it's about.
Dark Souls is really the Dark Souls of Dark Souls.
Shut up.
Now, I feel like Bloodborne is kind of like the Dark Souls of action platformers.
So, Moth, tell us about
wait,
Gacha Girlfriend
platformers?
before I strangle you to death.
I mean, platformers.
So one of our buddies in another Discord very briefly mentioned a manga that he found called Gacha Girlfriend.
Oh,
And
yeah.
It sounded so stupid that I actually had to look at it. And I've decided
Moth
that...
taught himself how to read just to read this.
Well, it's not necessarily that. I just saw the word normie show up enough. I've decided that two people shouldn't have rights. People who live in California and incels shouldn't have rights.
I'm just going to clip that. Two people shouldn't have rights.
People who live in California and people who
I don't
are
know which
actually
two, but
incels.
two of them. They're gonna fucking...
No, like
Those
incels.
two, one guy from California and one incel, neither of them can have rights.
Well,
Take
in
it
what
away.
deranged world do you have to live in that you write a freaking seinen about going to a random mansion and getting real women out of a gacha machine?
If you want to write smut, I don't know. It seems like it's
I
pretty
feel
normal for this
like-
kind of
can
manga.
we-
I think
I
your
unironically
inexperience
feel
with
like
manga is
none
really
of us
showing
read
here because
enough
these
of
are
this.
everywhere and they're just for jerking off.
But that's the thing. Like it's clearly got a monkey paw lint to it from how the first chapter ends. I didn't read past that. 'cause
Past
Moth
that,
wouldn't let me.
past that, it's actual smut.
Okay.
Oh, it's just more sex?
Yeah.
Okay. And this brings me up to like an issue that I really hate. So you guys might not know this because I know I'm the knowledgeable one on the podcast, but
Yeah, sure
we
are.
are the target demographic for seinen. Like, if you were to actually look at age groups, we are the target demographic for seinen.
Sure, yeah.
And-
I mean, as far as age groups go, yeah.
Yeah. And so what bugs me about that is I'm not a pedophile.
But are
so
you-
at least one
Wait,
of the
it bugs you that you aren't a pedophile?
Are you
Well,
trying to like,
no,
link
it's-
all ecchi and all like smut to all seinen? 'Cause that's the dumbest comparison I've ever heard.
Do you know how many like seinen mangas out there come out and it's like, oh man, look at this dude raising a girl as a
Do you know how
single
many that
father.
don't?
And then by chapter 40, he's fucking her.
Do you know how many that don't though?
There's
More.
Yeah, but they're not labeled seinen.
These
then at
aren't
that
really.
point.
I don't think this is
There's
labeled
slice
seinen.
of
This is
life at
labeled.
that
This is.
point.
I wouldn't label this
Yes.
as seinen. This is not seinen. This is.
It is
smut.
labeled seinen. Check
If
the
it
tags.
is, and then that's the problem with people who did it. It's just it's smut. That's what it is.
No,
and
no,
I can go to Steam and find a kids game and tag it as psychological horror. Doesn't mean it's
Yeah.
psychological horror, Moth.
I mean, you've never played Elmo Learns with Numbers. You never had that game glitch on your N64.
Oh God.
And like the sound of Elmo falling just starts getting clipped in everything you do, and it's just like "Ah!" for 20 minutes straight while you're trying to find the count.
Point
This
being,
explains so much more than I knew it could.
But I really hate seinen, and I actually what's weird is I feel like seinen
this is not
mangakas.
seinen.
I feel like seinen mangakas are some of the better artists, but
Yeah.
they write the worst content.
It's almost like this isn't seinen. Or and
It is seinen, though.
Right now you're talking about smut and ecchi.
Like, no, this is the stuff that Japanese salarymen read.
Oh
like,
yeah. I mean, you might be
Japanese
right.
salarymen like they read porn openly on subways and shit.
yeah, and
So
so,
whatever.
So that would
I
be
don't,
accurate
I don't
then,
like
yeah.
being lumped into this demographic.
That's
I
not
don't
the
like
same
the fact
demographic.
that my
Moth, I don't
demographic
think anyone's
has
going
the
to think you're a
stigma of
Japanese salaryman.
pedophilia.
I think you're safe.
I work 80 hours a week. I could be a Japanese salaryman. You don't know that.
Do you have a small penis?
No.
Then I'm sorry.
Oh, I mean, I'm a salaryman.
Yes, my frog is a salaryman.
I mean, I've seen enough ugly bastard to think that maybe salarymen have large penises, but I choose not to live in that life. But anyway, Moth is wrong about seinen because he doesn't understand genre, like a lot of people. I'm
No,
I'm almost
seinen-
about to go on a genre fucking dialogue because I'm
What's
so
that-
annoyed with everyone talking about genre.
This is not the same.
What's that-
like
what's
this
that
is
term
literally. Would
Where
you call
two distinct words mean the same thing.
get
Is
this?
it
Okay, no.
simile?
Would you call if you opened up a dirty magazine? Would you call that an adult novel?
Yes, I would, because that's what that shit
That's
was
not
turned
an
into in the
adult novel.
1970s with Playboy.
No, that's.
No, if you bought a Playboy in the 1970s, it wouldn't say adult novel on it. You
No, it would
fucking-
say gentleman's novel.
No, it wouldn't
It
say
would not-
novel. It'd say titty mag.
It would say, like, for the gentleman in all of us. And then, like, all
Yeah,
of a sudden,
sure,
you got a barely
it
legal
would.
chick.
That's advertisement.
spreading
I'm not
her
talking about
asshole.
genre classification. An adult novel is just a mature story.
Yeah, but, and then it's got a lolly in it, so it's seinen.
That's
Yeah,
what
fuck. Ah.
So what is that term when two different words mean the same thing?
seinen means adult.
You're an idiot.
Let's see here. Two different
Adult
words
in
that
the
mean
sense
same
of mature. If a game is M-rated, you consider that a seinen game, kind of, I guess.
thing. No, you wouldn't. It's
But at that point, you're getting like Western ideas of
Yeah, you're
classification.
right, you're right.
synonym. So seinen and pedophilia are synonyms at this point.
I guess Berserk is a pedophilic manga.
I mean, there's a chick who gets railed by a horse with a human face at
That's
one
not
point, so
pedophilic
yes.
at all.
She's
That's-
like 15.
No, she's not.
She's not.
She
She's
is.
an adult.
She's 19, I think, at that point.
Oh, it's okay because she's still a teenager.
I never
I'm
said it was
old enough-
okay.
It's okay because she's not a child anymore for her to
That's
get
not-
railed by a horse.
Frog and I are young enough
You're
where we can
strawmanning me
rail
so
19-year-old.
hard. I'm like, you're like, it's not. I'm not. It's not pedophilia. Oh, so it's okay that you can stick by a horse? No.
Okay, but it's got a bunch of naked children elves running around all the time.
They're
like,
elves. Also, that
yeah, but they
it's
got
not
child's
sexualized.
bodies.
It's just
It
kind
is
of
pretty
there.
sexual.
It's
Come
not.
on, it's sexy.
They're
Frog.
androgynous
Frog,
elf
it's a
people.
little sexy. Just admit it's a little sexy.
And this is the part where we learn that Moth hates himself.
Oh, and let's not talk about the fact that a small child gets railed in a mercenary camp growing up.
Yeah,
like,
that's.
so
yeah.
seinen is synonymous with pedophilia.
It's almost like inclusion doesn't equal consent or something, or not consent. What's the word?
Causation
endorsement.
doesn't equal cohesion.
No, inclusion does not equal endorsement. It's like the thing that happened with like Goblin Slayer, and that's a bad example because Goblin Slayer's ass. But
because that girl is 15 in Goblin Slayer, and she fucks a grown man to bring him back to life.
Wait, what? Firstly, that's not at all what I was talking about. Secondly, the age is not part of the equation. It's the fact that it's a rape scene. But okay.
Frog's mental faculties. Moth's mental fuck!
You gotta censor that one.
I don't have to censor that. I'm half gay.
I forgot. I said it last couple weeks ago already.
I suck dick, so I can call you a faggot.
Okay. That's fair.
Actually, what was funny is I was watching a Comedy Central stand-up that was uncensored the other day, and they weren't censoring anything, and then the comedian actually said the word faggot, and that was the only word they censored the entire time. And I was like, they dropped like 47 F-bombs in 10 minutes, and they censored the word faggot.
I mean, it's more of a slur now than it was before.
It's always been a slur.
Yeah,
I was
but now
16
people
years
take it
old,
a lot.
17 years old playing Call of Duty, and it was a slur.
It's almost like language gets more severe and changes with age. It's a weird phenomenon, actually.
Well, I feel like inclusion equals endorsement, so, you know,
Well, guys,
do you also think that people pissing on other people in that show you like is endorsement of pissing on people in water sports?
Wait, which show?
Your favorite thing.
What my favorite thing?
Yeah, what's your favorite thing?
Who pissed on who? Like,
what's your favorite thing? Just answer the question.
Mega Man X.
Golden Kamui, that's the one. Golden Kamui.
Golden Kamui.
More like Golden Shower.
I don't pretend that Golden Kamui isn't bizarre as hell. Like,
I'm not saying that.
I love that
think
about Golden Kamui.
It's not saying piss on all your friends.
It is saying piss on all your friends.
This is stupid.
Golden Kamui tells me that if I want to have friends, I have to eat otter meat and then wrestle them.
Nice.
And now, as we wind on down, everybody, Jesus fucking Christ, This episode is going to come
out.
out.
It's our best episode yet. I'm gonna send this like when we're looking for sponsors.
This feels long. This usually passes by in like a second, but this feels so long.
Well, we're almost at the 2-hour mark.
Let's wrap it up, guys. Okay,
I'm gonna send this episode when we're trying to get like sponsors from like Redbubble or
don't tell the one where we say the F-bomb like 4 times.
Or like Clash of Clans. Like who's the people who sponsor everybody on YouTube? NordVPN. When we get that sweet NordVPN sponsor, I'm gonna send them this episode. Guys, by the way, this episode is sponsored by Casper Mattresses. They are the Casper
Great
2 of
mattresses to piss on your bros on.
Casper Mattresses are the Casper 2 of mattresses.
It really feel like that.
All right, everybody. This episode is gonna be coming out just shortly before American Thanksgiving, and Canadian Thanksgiving was last month. So I just wanna take some time and I want to give unironic thanks, both from me to my fellow fucking losers, and also to our audience. And we also have some lined up from people who've been on the podcast and people who are friends of the podcast. Okay. So I'm just gonna start. The past month has been a little hard on me. Some issues have happened in my life involving some family members, and it's been really hard. And I haven't been talking about it openly on any forum, so most people aren't even going to know about it who would listen to this. I won't go into details, but I do want to just be thankful for my 2 co-hosts here. Moth and Frog, you both, in your own autistic ways, have tried to comfort me in this time that's been really rough.
And I failed miserably. I, crashed and burned harder than anybody could crash and burn. I thought you were going to choke me when I tried to comfort you.
Yeah, what you said was you know what, fuck it. My sister attempted suicide.
I tried to be logical. I tried to help you with facts and reason, and Ben Shapiro failed me.
And Moth fucking messaged me and said, "Yo, bro, don't worry about it. It's probably just for attention."
Oh, what the fuck?
No, I said that the method in which she used is most commonly, like, the one that fails. So, like, I was telling you were in the clear.
But Moth is trying to help, so I don't hate him. And Frog did what Frog does. He kept his distance, but if at any point that would be brought up, he'd be the first person to respond and be very proactive in trying to comfort. And I appreciate both of you for that.
Hey man, no problem.
Even Moth
Don't mention
being
it.
a fucking idiot. And I'm probably gonna send this to her. At least this little section. Just to let y'all know, she's doing better.
Good.
But yeah, I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for this. We don't have like a gigantic audience, but we have some people who
I
there are
would say
people
we
that
have
know
about 20 people who listen to us, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
there's a person on YouTube or on Twitter who started listening to our podcast, and I didn't know he listened to it. Doug, if you hear this episode, that's who I'm talking about.
Doug Walker?
I didn't know he listened to the. Yes, Doug Walker.
Holy shit.
Infamous Channel Awesome Head. But I didn't know he listened to us until I responded to something he said, and I said I asked 24/7, and his response to me was he just said Mike, and I was like, oh okay. And he knows my name. Like that. We have this like community that we're building, and of friends and of people that listen to us. And knowing I have that is it honestly, when I'm feeling bad, knowing that there's a bunch of idiots on my Discord that I could talk to, friends that I've made through this podcast, and friendships that have gotten better through this podcast. I'm so fucking thankful for that. I want to thank you guys, both listeners and my, Frog and Moth. You're both fucking idiots, but I love you guys.
Hey man.
All right, Frog. What do you have that you're thankful for?
I mean, I already had Thanksgiving myself a couple weeks ago, but I also want to thank you guys because I think prior to this podcast, we talked a lot, but not in the same sense, I guess, because we were part of a Discord. We still are part of the Discord. I didn't never stop, but we only came together as an idea for this podcast after some lore.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I guess I got closer and kind of learned more about you guys, and it was just really nice making some new friends that in a fun way. I haven't really had any serious problems or anything since then. I had some problems with like college back in maybe the start of the podcast, and they were supportive about that too, and I appreciate that. But yeah, just thank you for being friends. Thank you, and our listeners, thank you for sticking around. If you like me, cool. I like you too.
Well, I'm glad. As for me, I'm thankful for Covenant Eyes for helping me kick pornography.
Good. No Nut November. We've got to keep that strong.
Well,
fellas.
I've never done no nut. At least not since I got married. I always do no fap. Just because like no nut's completely retarded when you're married.
No, I've almost used all up my no nut passes. So like I'm gonna make it through. But man, it's gonna be tough.
What passes? Like
your free passes, bro. You got to get a nut eventually. Otherwise, you're gonna start masturbating to abstract shapes.
I just honestly I look at IKEA furniture and I try to find the holes that where like the screws are the same size as my dick.
Oh,
and I just go at it. But
That's good.
no fap. Yeah, I mean I didn't know you got free faps. I thought no fap was you can't go for a month.
No, man, you get like 3 you can use.
That's retarded. Go
Is that like
Puritan.
the vegan rules from Scott Pilgrim?
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's vegan rules exactly. If you go over 3 during no nut, you get arrested.
Wait. As of recording, we're at day 10 of No Nut November, and you've used up all 3 passes.
I've used up like at least like I want to say 12.
Oh my gosh, Mike, you're such a coomer. You guys need to fix your frontal lobes, okay? Like, this is what you need to do. You need to find a gym that has a sauna, okay? Work out 3 days, take a day off. 3 days workout, 1 rest day. You do push, you do legs, you do pull, you do rest day. Every day, rather than jack off, go into the shower, go to the sauna, sit in the sauna,
jack off.
15 minutes. Don't jack off because the old men in that sauna are going to be interested in it. You don't want that attention.
Unless you do.
15 minutes in the sauna, get the toxins out of your blood, Don't look at porn. Don't masturbate. Just work out, okay? Fix your frontal lobe. Get your frontal lobe working right, okay? Go to Kroger's, buy a gallon of milk. You're going to spend about $2,000 a year on milk. But
This is very specific.
It's true because
instructions.
Kroger is fucking highway robbery on milk.
it is. It's a little bit expensive, but you'll be able to quit porn. You're going to drink a gallon of milk every day.
I've been going vegetarian for the last little while, actually. It's been weird. Not like strictly vegetarian, but like kind of like almost like a weird semi-vegetarian. It's more like
a Episcopalian.
I have no idea what that is.
Pescatarian. That's the fish ones.
Yeah, Episcopalians.
I hate you so much.
No, I mean I'm just like I'm not. It's not like a strict diet. I think I still eat meat. I'll still eat meat, but like for the most part, I'm trying to cut most of it out of my diet, basically.
Okay.
Like I'm still.
And my
I'm still
diet's
eating
been going so well that I'm down a full shirt size.
Hey, good stuff, man.
I'm currently
Nice.
wearing a shirt and my belly's covered.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that nice? Nice and warm.
So is that all you're thankful for, Moth? That you don't fucking nut in anything other than your wife now?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, really, like, you got to realize, I realized the other day that I got into porn when I was, like, 13, because, like, the Flash game Ganguro Girl came out, and, like, that just started me down the road of pure bullshit. And I realized at almost 29, I've spent significantly more time in my life looking at porn than I have not. And so I dropped it. That's like when we were having this conversation about even Icicle. I was not enjoying that conversation at all. I don't actually like bringing up adult content in this podcast because I don't support porn.
Mormon Jesus doesn't like it when you touch yourself.
Yeah. We do have some questions though. Some questions that were asked.
We have more than questions. We also have from our little community some other like thankful messages.
Okay.
Do you want me to read through all of these? Or
Yeah,
do you want to
please.
take turns?
Absolutely.
The only one I have to read is Kat's because I told Kat I would. So go ahead. Whoever wants to take the first one.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
This one comes in from Roos on the Discord, I believe. Yeah, he's probably listening. I'm thankful for my new puppy, Cheagle. Is that how you pronounce that?
Yeah,
My puppy Cheagle named Peanut. She put face down, ass up, and barks at me when she wants to play tug of war with her toy rope. Dumb treasure dogger.
Good
That sounds
dogger.
funny.
yeah. And that dog is fucking adorable.
Yeah, we saw pictures in the Discord. If you're gonna join for the Discord, don't fuck the podcast. Just go see the doggy pictures. It's great.
It's a fucking awesome. So the next one comes from a friend of the podcast.
Yeah.
I am thankful to know many good friend, and also thankful for Tarwood Howard re-releasing Skyrim on the Nintendo Switch.
By the way,
I
where
am
are you
not a
guys
paid
reading these?
advertiser. That is from Cat is not Todd
Which
Howard.
channel is this?
It's not. It's in the document I sent in the fucking thing. You fucking.
You sent us a
melon.
document?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, there's a
Like 3
document!
times.
Oh, snap! There's like 7 comments here.
Yeah, there's a bunch. I told you I made this. Why are you like this? I thought you said you were done cooming because you got coom brain with how you forget things.
We got 1, 2, 3, 4.
We only have
5,
4 of these.
6, 7.
Then we have emails, and then I put the questions in here.
Damn, dude, you're organized.
Yeah, I'm the producer of the podcast.
Yeah, I'm the guy who has to come up with the weekly topics.
Do you want to read the next one, Moth? Now
No,
that you're
I want to read
seeing
the 4th
fucking
one.
doc-
Okay,
I
I'll
want,
do it.
I want to
then.
read the 4th one.
From Sai, last week's guest. Family from what's left of my blood relatives I give a shit about to the family I've made that most people just call friends. Sai's thankful for that.
Wait. Let's reread that, and let me give you like a Doom bass track in the background.
And we got one more.
Okay, I got this one. It's from Mara. Ho ho, the Bunny Girl Senpai movie. Also, being le chateau member of the podcast that only gets revealed once the plot progresses far enough.
I don't think anyone understood that, but that's fine.
Mars, our 4th member that will become part of the podcast once he works out his shit.
You know, at this point, I feel like Mara is too polite to just leave the podcast, and so like he's just kind of sitting there hoping we forget about him.
I don't know if I'd call Mara polite in any sense of the word.
He's let's see here. It's socially ineptitude. Like, he can't back out of a situation he volunteered for.
Hey, he was the first person that was like, hey, yeah, I'd be interested in a podcast. And originally I was going to try and just be him, and then you both jumped in on it, and now we got a podcast.
Yeah.
And now we got a podcast.
Yeah.
And this podcast is sponsored by Casper. Not the bed sheets, the actual movie from
Yeah,
1985.
that one's
No, not the
coming
movie.
back,
It's
guys.
sponsored by the Ghost.
Yeah.
The ghost himself
So
is here to give a speech about undeadness.
Next we have some emails. I'll go ahead and just read them. They're both from my coworker.
He's back, the infamous boy.
Did you hear about the two gay guys that were fucking in bed and the roof caved in on them and they both died? And do you know which one went to hell first? The bottom. He already had his shit packed.
But
So he's still sending jokes.
It's funny you should say, but Tish Moth, because that was the name of the fucking email.
That was the subject.
I hate you, coworker. I hope you die.
So I told him to stop sending jokes like week 4.
And then he said another email right after that. As far as I am behind the elite We Hate Anime podcast selectives, meaning he's a normie. Cheers to Frog for recommending Parasite for that last episode. Had my heart tears squirting. He wants to thank Moth for making him realize Monster Musume is just an anime for kinks.
You couldn't realize that on your own?
And he wants to thank me for saying Land of the Lustrous is quote unquote white power side when it's just Steven Universe with girls in volleyball uniforms.
It's the okay hand for anyone.
Yeah, that's from coworker.
Well, you know what?
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
too.
And you know what? He sent that last one, and I didn't actually tell him that we're doing Thanksgiving.
Oh.
So he just happened to be thanking us for giving him the good
Look
recommendations.
at that. Well, thank you, buddy.
And lastly, on the cleanup, which I guess is what we're going to call this section now. That's a good name for it.
Oh,
the
yeah,
cleanup.
these questions, with all due respect to the asker, are so fucking obvious.
I think the last one there will be some conversations on. So Medevac guy in the Discord, he had 2 questions for us. The first one, which he was mad for us not answering. Fuck you. He even made a terrible boomer meme. That meme was awful.
He did make a shitty meme.
His top text was 2 inches off the picture. What are you doing? But he asks, quality or quantity? Would you rather have one season of a 10 out of 10, but no continuation, or 7 out of 10, but to 50 or more episodes?
This is dumb. This question's dumb. I'm sorry.
It's bad.
I think Moth is gonna say something dumb shit, but
it's not.
Well, it's
Thank you for the question. It's not bad, but
if you had asked me like a few months ago and been like, Moth, would you rather a 10 out of 10 that only has like 12 episodes, or like a 7 out of 10 that has 50 episodes? Before seeing Sarazanmai, I probably would have gone with the 7 out of 10. But Sarazanmai was so perfect that it completely changed my view on things.
Let's go.
wow. I'm like, for the first time this episode, I respect you.
Go ahead.
100. Okay, so I think there is some nuance to this question, Medvac, because I think if we're talking about adaptation versus original works, if it's an original work, I would rather have one season that's 10 out of 10. Because that means it's probably going to have a wrap-up. It's going to be a 10 out of 10. There's no confusion there. But if it's an adaptation and it's like a long thing, I think 7 out of 10 for an adaptation is pretty much the best you could hope for. So if there was a piece of, like Berserk, for example, if someone did a 7 out of 10 start to finish adaptation of Berserk, I'd be reasonably happy. Because so far, we haven't had anything close to a set. Even the original anime from the 90s, I'd probably only give it a 6 because there's not a lot of animation in that anime.
Fair enough. I mean, my answer's obvious, right? I mean, there is value in long-running shows. Like, some stories just require a ton of episodes, right? Like shonen, traditionally. And I like shonen. I know shonen's like a touchy genre for some people because it's so
Especially me. I
Yeah.
plan on making a video about how much I hate it.
Yeah, sure. But like, I don't like most shonen, but I like the idea of shonen. And it by nature it needs to be long format and long form and just has to have a ton of episodes. So I understand that want, but I'm never going to enjoy a long-running shonen, at least I haven't yet, as much as I enjoy something like a perfect little burst of 12 to 24 episodes that, concludes and has everything just wrapped up at a nice little bow. Pretty much all my favorites are like that, other than maybe Kaiji, which is kind of left open. But other than that, I think all my favorite stories kind of just conclude and stuff like that. And maybe with the exception of Mob Psycho 2, actually. But that's in 12-episode bursts instead of being continuous. I'm not sure if we're getting a third season at all. So,
I think if we don't get a third season, Mob Psycho pretty much ends. I think we're in the sense of the show itself not continuing further. It's a pretty good climax.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's in a good spot, and it went out with a fucking bang, and it's gorgeous and perfect. So. We
finally know what the broccoli means from the first opening.
Yeah, it's crazy. I actually love that. How it's like took a whole season to get to that joke that's in the first opening. That's cool.
Yep.
But Medevac also asks, and I'm going to reword this a little bit. He wants to know if an anime studio were to make an adaptation for Halo.
I thought all of them did.
What?
No, you're right. Never mind. That's why I misunderstood the question. I'm like, I have not seen the Madhouse version of Halo. So
yeah.
So if of these three studios, if one of them made an adaptation of Halo, which one would be the best and why? And the three studios he picked are actually pretty interesting, and I think there could be some discussion here.
Yeah.
Are A1 Pictures, Trigger, and Madhouse. And I want to know what y'all think, because I think Moth, I'm pretty sure you're going to go with Madhouse.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Madhouse.
I have not played any Halo games.
The reason it can't be Trigger is because nobody in Halo has blue hair.
So here's my opinion. If it's like Halo is, if you wanted to stay true to Halo, the best option for consistent but not boring designs would be Madhouse. But if you wanted to make a Halo-themed, like, amusement park ride on the like level of something like Promare, Trigger, 100% would just blow it out of the fucking field. Because there's even there's an anime that you can watch. It's on Netflix. It is a series of short movies that are anime Halo movies. It's called Halo Legends. I think even one of the one of these studios may have made something for it. Not Trigger, because this is before Trigger. But you can watch it and you can see, if you're familiar with Halo, you can see which ones are more akin to what Halo is. Meanwhile, there's also one that's just, what if Master Chief fought a dinosaur? And it's wild. And that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. If it was going to be wild and interesting, Trigger 100%. A1, I don't want them to touch anything that I put in front of me, because they are like the sauce they are named after. They ruin everything good they touch.
Huh? Oh, A1? Yeah.
Yeah, A1 steak sauce, also, controversial opinion, awful.
It's terrible. No, it was when there were only like, in 1995, when there was only one real choice of steak sauce, yeah, A1, because like everybody did well done steaks, they deserve to be kicked in the dick. Now we have 300 different A1 steak sauces. Like, it's much better now.
Also, if you make good steak, you don't need sauce.
No, you just need a shit ton of honey butter.
What?
Compound butter does make steak better. I will give you that.
Yeah.
But that's been the last of the questions. That's been the cleanup, the wrap up.
I think. I would say I didn't answer your question. I know I haven't seen it, but based on just like my experience with, exposure to the Halo franchise, it seems like Madhouse is the best at adapting that kind of story.
The main problem with that is that Madhouse, I don't think Madhouse. They don't do Sakuga really. They just do solid, consistent work.
They can do something. They can do stuff.
They have done Dororo has some Sakuga in like the first episode.
Thought that was
No, that was Mappa. Never mind.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I reversed that. They're just standard.
They made One Punch Man.
Did they make the second season? No.
They made the first season.
Sorry. No, they made the first season, but that first season was like from a handpicked director who handpicked his staff. So it's not, even though Madhouse's name is on it, I don't know how much I would consider that like a Madhouse work.
Fair enough. A lot of it is independent work, but I mean,
But yeah, I don't think Madhouse is bad or anything. They have fantastic anime. But when I think of like action, I think Trigger.
Oh,
so
yeah,
if that
for
was what they were going to go for. But if they were going to make a thematic piece about the lore of Halo, which you can do, there's so much fucking lore in Halo. I would want Madhouse to do it of those 3 studios.
Yeah, Madhouse.
Sure.
And when the Master Chief Collection comes out, we're going to have daily Discord Halo games, because I can't fucking wait when that comes to
That's
PC.
probably coming on Game Pass,
I will
right?
murder both of you.
That's probably coming out on Game Pass.
I think we talked about this last episode.
Like, if they don't put that out on Game Pass, what are they doing, right? So I'll probably have that.
But yeah, then that's going to be it, guys. Thanks so much for coming to this episode. Please follow us on Twitter, Frog, as is tradition.
Yeah, so I got Mike's Twitter, Animaikeru, ANIMAIKERU. Correct?
Yeah.
Probably.
I guess.
Oh, yeah, you don't even know. You got my Twitter. Follow me at FrogKing, FR0GKING. Oh, K1NG, my bad. I'll just start that. FR0GK1NG is my @ and for the same thing for Twitch if you want to watch that, which I never do anymore. And I think Moth has one too, actually. Because I keep forgetting until the very end.
I think I'm gonna actually try to use mine, but give me another couple of weeks to figure out how Twitter works.
Yeah, sure.
His Twitter is DerMothman.
DER Mothman.
I'm gonna check it. Yeah. All right, we're good.
And if you want to join the Discord, link's going to be in the description. Please do come in and talk to us about the podcast or just about random bullshit. Also, please, wherever you're watching us, rate us. Leave comments on, if that service has comments, interact with us there, because that will help with our searchability. If you listen on iTunes, rate the podcast. Thank you so much for coming to the We Hate Anime podcast. I've been English Mike. Frog's been Frog. Moth's been Moth. I'm gonna go eat dinner before I go to bed. You guys have a good night.
How long do you think it'll take for someone in the podcast realizes that I ate a whole rotisserie chicken during that whole thing?